Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scraticus Academy. Today is Ebberon Day, one of my favorite days of the week right now. A few things before we start. Just talk about a few bits, and that's Discord. Discord. There's a link we popped in chat. I definitely recommend going over and joining. It's like a family over there. There's such awesome people. They talk about D&D, TTRPGs, and if you just fancy a chat, we're all here for that as well. Twitter. If you want to get into one of our games, we've got a few spots up until Christmas, and then when we hit January, the viewer game will become Cyre System, or one of the viewer games will become Cyre System. So drop Scrat a message on Twitter, and we will try and find you a slot and book you in the diary. YouTube, we are all up to date on YouTube. Everything is on there, so you can either catch up or binge watch. It's up to you, but it's looking quite snazzy over there. Scrap's rather pleased with it. Our goals. We did so well last month and absolutely nailed it, and we're on the way to do it again, and we can't thank you guys enough. Because we're full-time, another way to support us is Patreon. It's where you get sort of behind the scenes stuff, news comes out to you guys before other bits and bobs. However, we do have articles on there about a couple of bits and bobs, which are free to read. So definitely hop over there and have a read. They're really, really good. Merch. We use Redbubble, and we do hoodies, t-shirts, you name it. I've said it before. I love them, and I just find Redbubble so good for that. It's another way to support us. We also have our amazing sponsors. One of them, Bird in the Storm. Torsko is here today, playing lovely Vesh. And we've got some exciting stuff coming in season 2, where we are working on stuff for them. We also have Maychan Press, who do the Dark Matter series, which you can see run on Argo 37 by me on Thursdays. And in the chat below, you can see a free 30-page review if you want to have a look at that. Last but not least, every 10 retweets, we will get a Wild Magic Surge, or roll a random Wild Magic Surge for the party and see how you can affect the story. Without further ado, we will go around. We'll say hi and introduce our characters. First of all, we've got Kaya, or Derek, whichever you prefer right now.
Hi, I'm Derek. I play Kaya. She is a very sweet, kind of high elf female who's going through some kind of multiple persona thing at the moment. So we're exploring that, and I'm super excited to see how that goes. Am I missing anything right now?
No, I think you're all good. You're all good. It always feels like there's more to say, but no, you're fine. And also, we go to Tart, or Lauren, as we know her.
So many names.
So
Hi.
many names.
I'm Lauren, she, her pronouns, also that salty ginger over on the Twitters. And today I'm playing Tart, a changeling bard who is definitely not from a family of assassins. No big deal. Everything's super normal. She's just super cute. That's it. That's all. That's all. That's all.
Super cute. That's just like,
That's
what
it.
she'd have on her name badge, Tart. Super cute.
Yep.
And we hop over to Emet, or Ashley.
I'm Ashley. I play Emet, who is the Warforged, who is learning to properly emote themselves, and recently now they're a dad. So coping with that too.
Oh, baby blue. And last but certainly not least, we hop over to Vesh, or Torsko.
Hey, how are you doing? I am playing Vesh, who is our Kalastari, who has a Kiore, who is a storm giant. And due to mysterious things in the world of Ebberon, instead of his Kiore just sort of being a sort of force of intuition in his life, it is affecting him physically and actually speaking to him sometimes. So he is a teenager, and he is almost 8 feet tall because this storm giant, his presence seems to be affecting his physicality. And basically, he is pretty much like a Great Dane puppy. He is all elbows and knees and feet that get in his way, and stumbles and bumbles his way sort of through things, trying to find a family and some just things and people that he can't break, because that seems to be that he has pretty much disaster and destruction following him everywhere. And yeah. And the other thing is, oh my gosh, I've been here for 8 months. Yay, Scraticus Academy.
Oh, thank you. Oh my god, 8 months.
I know, right?
How quickly has that gone? Wow. Okay, so and you can gift a nat 1 or nat 20 to whoever you choose. Just bear that in mind, Jay. So
I'm going to gift you a nat 20 for Eden.
Oh, they're gonna hate that so much, but thank you. They're gonna hate that so much. Yes, thank you. Okay, so last week we found our ragtag group as they left the undercity of Shan and the sewers, and they left with Tarlin, who everyone became incredibly attached to, and all he did was make tea. But you hopped on his barge-like boat, and he took you all the way up the Dagger River towards Glyphstone Keep. And we saw a lot of things happen in Glyphstone Keep. We saw from the height, we could see the mist was moving. We saw Warforged leaving the mist and heading towards Shan. There were some disruptive sort of things in the group, and at the moment, people aren't necessarily all trusting each other fully, especially when they found a dead assassin that Tart encountered at the ball in, I think, the second episode, sort of draped over a desk. And we will pick up back probably with Tart, because Tart's up in the tower right now because she decided to come away. She effectively barricaded herself in there. And Tart, as you're there, because there's a small window, you can feel a slight warmth of the sun as you can feel it on your skin in the morning.
Which way is the tower window facing? Is it facing back towards Cyre?
It's facing back towards Cyre, yes.
Okay. So, she hasn't really rested well. Very, very jumpy during the night, making it hard to relax. So when she feels the sun, she drags herself over to the window to see if she can see any more of what they saw last night.
It's not so much anymore. There you see the odd figure in the distance, which you could probably assume is a Warforged, but there's not loads of them. It's not like armies or crowds or anything of them, and the mist seems to have not really encroached on you any further.
They'll rifle through their bag real quick and pull out a small hand mirror and start practicing smiles.
As you start to practice smiles and sort of changing your face every now and again, sort of tweaking it in the mirror, a bird lands on the windowsill and starts to chirp at you. A big bird, almost like the size of a raven, as it just squawks at you.
I'll open the window.
Yep. It's tapping on the window, like it's not happy there. And it hops in, and you will recognize wrapped around its leg a small, like, little capsule, metal capsule, and you will recognize this as probably one of your mother's messenger birds from Shan.
They'll tear it open.
It's this, like, a teeny tiny little scroll that you can just roll open, and it just says, "Stay safe, go to Wroat. I'll meet you there."
Just holding the piece of paper really tight, they'll finally, their muscles kind of give out and they slide down the wall back to the floor and finally breathe deeply for the first time in a while. And then pocket the diary, pop up put on one of the smiles, and walk down the tower, almost skipping.
The raven disappears out of the window as you leave. It's almost like it's acknowledged it's done what it's meant to do, and it disappears once again. We have already reached our 10 retweets. So I will, as usual, sign you a number. So Emet 1, Vesh 2, Kaya 3, and Tart 4. And I will just see who gets that. 4. So Tart, could you please roll a D546? That list just, I swear, like people need to run out of ideas soon. 476. Awesome. We will sort that. So you sort of head down the tower. What are the rest of you doing? How are you waking up? Kaya, were you in a different place? I think you took yourself away, didn't you?
Kaya went down to the ground floor where the initial hall was. Would have found like a table or a pillar or something to just kind of rest behind as she went to sleep. But she didn't sleep well. She had one of her daggers out, kind of tracing into the floor, "I am Kaya," until eventually she fell asleep.
Yeah. And how is she waking up?
Groggily. She stops and kind of says to herself, "Okay, come on, you got this." Vesh, Tat, Emet, Kaya, Echo. Kaya.
You are in almost like the open walked into. The sun shining through the stained glass windows is sort of like the colours are speckling the ground at the moment whilst you were doing this. And how about Emet and Vesh? How was your night and how are you waking up? I will tell you, Blue has stood by the window the entire night as he was told.
So as I had said before, Vesh sort of found the sort of pile of drapes that was over by the fire, and he did get a fire started for everyone to share, but turns out that pretty much it was just him and the Warforged down in the main room. But he curled up, and before going to sleep, there's a prayer that he says in Giant. He doesn't necessarily even know the words himself, but he started reciting them before his sleep each night as a way sort of to comfort him, but as also it casts the spell protection from evil, and it goes: "Storm, hill, fired cloud, strength of old, both old and proud. Watch my sleep till dawn arrives. Darkness flees where a good heart thrives." And he just says that over to himself in Giant, and it gives him some comfort, even though spell only lasts for 10 minutes. It's sort of gives him a place of comfort so that he can fall asleep each night. And he sleeps with thoughts of the sort of conflict in the party and these people who he's up with, and sort of dreams of wanting to find his home in Zendrick, and of sailing on a boat, him at the sails and Emmett at the tiller. And then comes awake in the morning, I guess. Or not, as I look at my DM.
You're fine.
Okay.
How about Emmett? Like, would you have heard Vesh? Oh, well, Vesh, would you have said it loud enough for Emmett to hear?
Yes, but it would have been in Giant.
Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know whether Emmett knows does knows giant. So you would have just heard this very deep, almost like the cracking of glaciers is probably it's kind of how I think storm giant sounds. It's that distance between. It's like the sort of a mix between distant thunder and if you've ever been on a cruise or watched a show about when the glaciers crack and groan. That's very much how I think of how storm giant language sounds. So it's probably, even though it's not a very long prayer, it probably takes a little while to get through, as storm giants aren't in a big hurry in their lives.
So I guess upon hearing this, Emet looks over his shoulder and just kind of checks up on Vesh, sees that he's talking to himself, and turns back and stands watch. Just right in the doorway, standing out looking into the hall, just waiting for any sort of sound or movement from someone else. And while they do that, they also are contemplating on the other party members. Kaya, who at this point he's felt very almost like a kinship, knowing that feeling of being alone, knowing that feeling of feeling different and outside of the society that you're in, but understanding also that there's something off and wrong that could be dangerous. And Tart, someone who has a very good, strong, commanding presence, which is soothing, that he can look up to, but also knowing that Tart doesn't necessarily want to be in this situation. And then, of course, Vesh, stumbling around everywhere, wanting to go sailing. And then Blue, tiny little Warforged Blue. What am I going to do with him? I guess take him sailing? And then Emet just sits there and reflects, almost in circular thoughts, going back to each of these things, and then coming right back to the Blue, and wondering what they should be doing with a Blue. Having seen people work with children before, but never having to think about it. He doesn't need to eat, so I don't need to worry about that. He doesn't necessarily need shelter, so I don't need to worry about that. He doesn't wear clothes, so I don't need to worry about that. And just constantly reflecting upon all of this throughout the night until they hear someone, whoever it is first, stirring.
So Blue stands there the entire night. You can hear him hum slightly when he hears Vesh saying his prayer. It's almost like he's trying to mimic the sounds that Vesh is making. You think Blue seems to think it's a tune, not a prayer or anything like that. And then he will stand silent for the rest of the night, staring out over to Cyre and across the river. And Tart, are you sneaking downstairs, or are you
Nope.
literally, here I come?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, well, I will say probably Vesh will hear you. Emet will definitely see you as you come down the stairs.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Emet will kind of step out of the doorway.
Tart skips in and she a little pink burst of flame in the fireplace, and she gets out some of the rations and she's whistling, wakey wakey, eggs and bakey, or rations. I have potatoes. We have potatoes. I remember this. And she's gonna start using her fancy dagger to cut the potatoes.
Oh, morning, Tart.
Good morning, Vesh.
What you cooking?
Potatoes.
Oh, I like potatoes.
Yeah, that's basically what we have, are potatoes.
Well, it's better than gruel.
Yes, always. Better than sewer tea, even.
The sewer tea really wasn't that bad.
Tart, did you just use prestidigitation to do something?
Yeah, to light the fire.
Okay. Wild magic surge.
Oh, cool.
What?
Great. Sneaky. What?
You actually cast Primordial Ward
What is
around the fireplace.
What?
So as you skip down the stairs gleefully, the pink sort of like energy leaves your hand, but this ward almost like hits it as you see it surround the fireplace.
Cool.
You can choose whether to notice it or not.
It seems fine. The potatoes are still cooking, so this is fine. Da-da-da. It's fine. Everything's fine. This is good.
The fire would not light.
Oh, damn it. Wait, sorry. Hold on 1 second.
It sparks a little bit, but it's like it just fizzles out when you did it the first time.
This place is the worst.
I can get it, Tart. I don't mind. I can relight it.
Okay. It's a mean fireplace.
Vesh is going to start trying to light it with just his tinder and flint, and having just read what the spell does, I would assume has 0 luck of getting it started. I assume it's fire.
It's almost like you can't
damage.
even get to the fireplace fully. It feels just not like a bar, but you feel like as you try and spark it, nothing happens.
Do we have a bucket?
A bucket?
Yeah, do we have a bucket?
In this fortress somewhere, probably.
Probably. I don't know if I want to use an old bucket. It's fine. They're no, we can't have raw potatoes. Just hold on. I'm just gonna take one in her hands and try to cook it in her hands.
If you're literally doing like almost trying to create a fire in your hands, it does start to heat up.
Okay. It's just going to be a baked potato.
Those are good.
Yeah, they're really good. Okay, here, you take the first one.
Ooh.
This is
Baked
literally
potatoes
hot
are hot.
potato. This is hot potato.
Hot potato. But he probably it's Vesh, so he probably like wraps it in like the sort of the tail of his shirt. They'll be able to hold it, and then just starts eating it like it were an apple or a pickle or something. And kind of goes to Emmett and it's like, Emmett, do you? Oh,
You can eat it.
Okay, it's pretty tasty.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How was your night, Emmett?
Long tonight. How was yours?
Long.
Vesh?
It was short, actually. I didn't have any dreams, so that was good.
Yay.
Emet will walk over to Blue and she'll be like, how was your night, Blue?
It was normal.
Good.
Nothing approached. And he looks like if a warforged could look happy with himself, like his eyes are he's sort of just looking around and looking down. And it just seems to be the same as the other evening. Kaya, how are you entering this room? Are you entering the room?
No,
No?
she stays downstairs, eats by herself, pulls stuff from her bag, and just stays down there.
Okay.
She does take her dagger, her 2 daggers, and her rapier, and her sword belt, and wraps them up, and sets them about 10 feet away from her. If I recall correctly, there was like some sort of table in here, wasn't there?
Yes, there was a table and a dead body on it.
On the first floor. I thought there was like some sort of large like.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm picturing you in the wrong room.
She ties them all up together and sets them on the table, and she goes back to where she was sitting
Okay.
and finishes eating.
Well, I think it's time to go. Vesh, Blue, Emet, we should find Kaya and we should get moving. We're not that far away from the city, and it's probably nicer than this gross, crumbling fortress.
I agree. We should move.
We can find some more ice lollies there.
Ooh. So, he sort of looks to Tart, kind of assuming this, but doesn't know. So, did you go across the sword bridge to get to the tower?
Yes.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Do you want to go see before we go?
I do, but I think I might want Emmett to go with me so I don't fall off the side.
Good call. We can all go together. We'll yell at Kaya, see if she wants to come. Come on. Kaya! Do you want to come to the sword bridge? She might meet us there. Come on.
So yeah.
Yeah, so you guys turn. Ema, are you going out the room as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm escorting Vesh across the sword bridge.
Yeah, across the bridge, just checking. Blue will wait. And as you guys disappear up the stairs, Blue will walk down to Kaya very slowly, awkwardly. Not quite as awkward as he was before. Hello. You have woken.
Morning, Blue.
Potato. And she just holds out a potato to Kaya. It's not cooked at all.
Thanks, I already ate. Can you do me a favor, Blue?
Mm-hmm.
See that sword and those daggers over there on that table?
Yes.
Do me a favor and carry those. And you are not to hand those back to me until Tart says otherwise.
I will carry. And he walks over and sort of awkwardly sort of grabs them. And there's like sort of thing on his back, almost like a big belt across, that fixes to the back of his arm on this new arm. And he fixes it to that.
Thank you.
We are going to the bridge.
All right, yeah. Sure. Kaya just sort of folds her arms in front of her chest where they're visible and walks up that way. Go ahead, lead the way, Blue.
Off we go. And he sort of starts like disappearing very slowly up these steps, sort of like to one side, to the other, all the way up. The rest of you come out onto this platform on the top, just before the huge sword bridge. And you can feel this wind whipping around you. And this is seriously fresh air. And the scene before you, the sky is lighter and bluer than it was yesterday. It's beautiful. You can see the Dagger River below. And you can see the Howling River that breaks off to it up, off to your left a little bit. And you can see the city of Wroat at this height. And before you is almost, the stone's almost like a marble. It's so white. It's not smooth. It's not anything like that, but it is almost like a very pale grey white. And you would walk along the blade as you head towards the bit of the tower. If you walk.
Yeah. I think Vesh steps out into this sort of, I assume it's like a crisp morning breeze, and this just huge vista of the horizon and the mountains and the city and the river, and the blue sky, that, as you say, that clear blue sky you get like right after dawn.
Oh yeah.
And with this wind in his face, and the party would see him stand up probably straighter than he ever has, and he sort of closes his eyes a little bit, and Vesh just puts his hands out to his side to sort of feel the wind. He just sort of takes and it's not something Vesh is doing consciously, but I think sort of a static charge just kind of builds across him as Ugola just probably remembers the ancient days in Zendrick, and where his domain was a world and vistas much like this. And I think when Vesh, with his sort of mop cut hair blowing in the breeze, eventually opens his eyes, and just sort of big morning goofy kid smile to everybody, and Okay, so we're going across, right?
Sure, we can go across. Oh, Vesh, look. If you look really far at Wroat and you squint a little, probably. I guess I could just give you my spyglass. But also, I think you can see it without it. There is a castle.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looks towards there because it's on the river, right? So sort of following the silver line of the river.
Yeah, so you're the Glyphstone Keep you're in right now is coming up towards the end of the Dagger River where it disappears into the land, and you can see another river that seems to break off. And at that end, that's where you can see Wroat.
I think I see it.
It is
There's
called
flag on the top. Yeah.
It's called the Broken Blade Castle.
We're on the sword bridge and we're looking at the broken blade. That's cool.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Do you use the spyglass at all, or are you just looking, squinting? That's fine if you are. I'm just double checking.
I think that's just probably just squinting. I'm thinking that he probably either has one hand on Emmett and another if there's on a rail, or then two hands on Emmett.
It will probably be two hands on Emmett. There are no rails at all.
Oh yeah, because it's like on the blade of this giant sculpture. So yeah, there's probably a little bit of vertigo happening to Vesh that's probably being settled out a bit by
like it is a thick enough pathway for you to walk, but it has two sloping sides where on the blade edge it will go down.
It's the capital, Wroat.
Capital of what?
Freeland.
Oh, okay.
That's why they have a castle.
Wait, why wouldn't Sharn be the capital?
That's a good question. Sharn is very big, but I don't know. It's where the royal family has always been. And it's walls. It's got walls, which are very useful for a capital.
That's true. Well, and the river too. Well, I guess, but Sharn has a river as well. But if that's where the king lives, then that's the capital.
Yep.
I guess that makes sense.
Although he's not always there. It's very weird.
At this point, Vesh is sort of kind of doing that weird, putting one foot out, like inching his way across, even though we're talking, just because there's a tower on the other side that goes even higher. So he's kind of got that kid wants to go to the top of the tree enthusiasm in it.
She's going to reach out or reach up rather, and put a hand on his shoulder and cast Enhance Ability on him and give him Cat's Grace.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so that he feels more comfortable making it across the bridge.
And you see sort of some of his trepidation. And not that makes him graceful, but certainly, I think between sort of the confidence from Ugola and, having Emmet there and that it's even the clumsiest kid when they get their mind on something type idea, I think, because it's a sword bridge.
At this point, you can hear a clunking up the stairs, and you see Blue emerge at the top, shortly followed by Kaya.
Kaya gets a big, goofy, adolescent hair, bowl cut haircut blowing in the wind, smile from Vesh of like, I'm doing it. You see what I'm doing? Do you see what I'm doing? And just biggest, happiest smile from, like I said, the biggest greyhound puppy you've ever seen, going across this sword bridge to the tallest tower.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm trying to concentrate.
Yes. Good. I will go in front of you.
Do be careful. Tart, do you have a second?
I have many seconds.
So you'll notice that Blue is now outfitted with some of my gear.
He is like strolling. He's just strolled straight past Tart towards Emmet and Vesh. In fact, it's probably quite a terrifying sight because he has perfect balance but he's had to counter everything. So you see him almost like swaying off the edge, I guess, but he's not. He is balanced. He's countering it with his arm. So yeah.
He's fine. He's fine.
I see it as
Okay.
almost like one of those little toys that you can put on the wire. That's
what he's doing right now.
I see.
I am not to have them back until you say otherwise.
Whatever you say.
Fair enough. And Kaya kind of keeps her hands sort of up where everyone can see them, and she just slowly makes her way across the bridge.
Hang on. What does Cat's Grace do? Sorry.
Advantage
He gets
check.
it.
It is
Yeah.
advantage. As I say, can you please roll your dexterity? It's gotta happen. However, I will also say you can add the roll of a 1d4.
Okay.
Because
It's
you
almost like a
are
bless.
so do it advantage, but you've also got Emet holding on to you.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't matter what it's a save or a check, but anyway, so advantage, and then I've got a D4 after this.
yes. Nat 20.
It's a nat 20.
So-
Look at the dice telling the story.
You are like on a high right now. You're on a saw bridge. You're heading towards an amazing tower. You high on life. You can see everywhere. You feel like the giant that is inside you right now. As you,
I'm gonna cry.
I was like, I know.
I rolled a nat 20, the one time I ever needed one for Fresh. I
Oh, it's so
literally am
perfect.
choked up by the dice right now.
And the rest of you see Vesh. I don't know, Vesh, would you let go of Emet if you were suddenly a little bit confident?
I think so. Probably one hand. I think there's still Vesh. Vesh is still very aware of who he is, but I mean, I don't want to like totally make it the Titanic scene, but I mean, I think he probably would. I mean, and I don't think it's necessarily the I'm king of the world thing. I think it's just more of that he finally has the confidence to just sort of be able to sort of feel the breeze. And the biggest thing is it's not that dead eye stare on the front tower. It's that he's enjoying this and looking around, and without that trepidation that basically Vesh always trying to tiptoe through life and making a mess of it, and that there's not that self-check. If you can see, I mean, he's a 16-year-old kid going across a sword bridge with the breeze blowing through his hair and on a beautiful morning type idea. It's that for Vesh, it's this perfect, I don't know if you guys know about like white moments where people just, everything comes together, where whatever reason it came together for Vesh right now.
I mean, tell me if I'm wrong on this, Emet. Would Emet not let go, but maybe just the way I'm picturing it right now is that Emet is holding his hand out and sort of letting Vesh go, but not letting go at the same time. So it's almost like maybe holding onto his fingertips or something so that he's in reach.
It's the Christopher Reeve Margot Kidder moment in Superman.
Yeah. So you know what I mean.
All my favorite moments. I'm gonna get all emotional over you.
When Vesh first starts to lighten his grip and let go, Emet for Emet, he almost freaks out a little. He's like, he's falling. Oh wait, no, he's got this. And then yes, that's when that moment would happen. There'd be a slight hesitant and panic and almost like a tighter grip on him, and then it releases. And then he just kind of keeps his hand there as a guide, but just lets him go forward.
It is Prax. That's exactly what it is, Prax.
Tart gets a big smile on their face seeing this and takes out a small cylinder and kind of presses it, and a little parasol shoots out. She kind of
doing your tightrope act.
Tightrope walks across the bridge.
Blue sees this and sort of tries to mimic it. He's fine, but he tries to mimic it, not with as much obviously grace or delicate as you, but it's mainly that he puts his arms out.
Mm-hmm.
And what about Kaya?
She just sort of is plodding by. She, not unfazed by it, but the awe of it is invisible to her. She's too much in her own head. She just kind of puts one foot in front of the other. If she could have been walking down the street, for all she cares, she doesn't see any of it.
You all walk across, and Vesh, you feel your feet rest on almost like a little balcony, like platform bit that is in the tower. As you reach the other side, and you all can file on after. And you are at the tower.
Comes to the tower side. So is the tower go up even higher? If I remember from the art that it's got
it goes up a bit. It goes up a bit higher. This is the one Tart was in earlier. So it does go up quite a bit higher. It's like a watchtower, and people would light like maybe beacons, set
Gondor
fire.
calls for aid,
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So it's like you can go up, you go inside, and there's a spiral staircase that goes up just to the small room, which Tart will know because it's where she slept, and you can see probably the remnants of a fire and a small window, a very small window. It's not big at all, but it just looks out over everything.
Vesh doesn't run up, but he certainly kind of does that. He waits for everybody. He wants to make sure everyone gets across, because even though it's a probably wide pathway for everyone else, he's he's concerned, but just also like, wasn't that great? He's kind of I think he's just kind of like he's almost like practically all but like the pee-pee dance of a little kid, because it was so cool. And then as soon as everyone gets over, he's like, he starts going up the stairs, and I mean, this when he's fallen downstairs before when he falls, so he goes ahead and goes sort of bounding up the stairs to the top, and to look out the windows. That was Tart's room. Tart, you had the best room. You always put the coolest things.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I did like it. Look, you can look out and you can see even more from up here.
And I think his eyes probably do land towards Cyre. What do I see?
Cyre is like...
Is it the mist still there
mist
today?
It's just there. It's always there. It's always lingering. It doesn't seem to be moving or moving at rate, but you see nothing. It's almost like it's just a blotch on the map. There's nothing there.
How about the mist that we saw that had been encroaching on Sharn? Or, I mean, is that
was it, but it's just moving so slowly. You can see where it's stretched a little bit in the direction
right
of Sharn, but it's nowhere near Sharn yet.
Okay, gotcha.
See it as it's expanding rather than going in a specific direction.
Right.
But it's closer to Sharn than it is other places.
So as Vesh sort of looks over there, he gets a little quiet, even though, I mean, it doesn't completely dampen his sort of light, but I wonder if the merchant's okay back in my village. It was only about a day out of Cyre. He sort of chill, does a little hug of himself, and then he kind of rips his eyes away because he doesn't want to linger on it, and then looks back to this beautiful morning and looking at Broken Blade Castle. Can we see it even better from up here?
You can see here because it's almost like you feel like you're not above the clouds, but you feel like you are with suddenly how clear everything is, and you can see this dark grey stone piled high castle, which has just created this huge towered keep style thing. And just across the river from the castle in the rest of Wroat, you can see a black obsidian tower, which towers all the way up, just located directly across from the castle.
What's that, Tart?
I believe that is the Citadel? Yes.
What do they do there?
There are offices and training facilities, and all sorts of people come in and out.
Do they let you go to the top?
They will let me go to the top, yes.
Will they let me come with you?
Yeah. It's lots of paperwork. I mean,
Oh,
Much paperwork.
well, I don't want to be any trouble. That's okay.
No, no, no. We will get it all sorted when we get there.
Vesh, can you roll a perception for me, please, as you're looking?
Sure. It's 14.
Yeah. So as you keep looking, you can almost see slightly beyond this city, just in the distance. This is something you haven't necessarily seen before, or you haven't seen it from this angle.
Yeah, certainly.
And it is, there are the huge mountains of the Howling Peaks that disappear into just a constant present of like storm clouds, and they are magnificent. It's like a huge, almost like a mountain range.
Mm-hmm.
You can see patches of snow that dot around the top. And these are huge storm clouds, so I don't know how Vesh would react to this.
Oh, yeah. I think there's sort of this deep instinctual feeling that he gets, almost mesmerized by, I can sort of see it like, let me think of this. I'm going to see it this way. I don't know if the geography works out. That basically, as you can sometimes watch, that basically full dawn hasn't hit the mountains yet. And so they're still sort of, they're just shrouded. You can't quite tell the difference between what's a cloud and what's a mountain, except for these flashes of lightning that are sort of crackling through the clouds, illuminating them against sort of the dark sky to the north. And while his eyes at first are drawn to a castle, it's almost like he can't pull his eyes drift up and then can't be pulled away from this line of storm and electrical display across the horizon against these dark mountain peaks. And I think probably even in this, I assume because the windows are open, they're not like, they're like just open windows, not like glass.
This one
windows.
did have glass, but it's been opened.
Okay. So even though there's a little bit of breeze in his hair as he looks out,
Looks like we've got ourselves a volunteer.
I think that there's a little bit of static electricity sort of sparking across him, as sort of there's that connection with the storm clouds, even though they're so far away. And he probably closes his eyes for a second again and just gets this real big, I'll call it ancient smile. This sort of almost that like when, like a granddad or someone sort of has this sort of knowing inner smile that sort of goes across it before he opens it back up, and then it breaks again into this. Did you see all the lightning? That's cool. That's huge.
Lightning is very cool. Just in general.
Emmett, did you see? And he moves out of the way to make sure Emmett can get a chance to see and look out.
Emmett looks out, sees weather, realizes that it makes Vesh happy. Pulls back in and just goes, yes. The lightning is very cool.
Right? Kai, did you get a chance? Here, there's room at the window.
Kai looks up and her face goes really bright for a moment. Yeah, no, it looks great. She lies and looks back down.
Right? And okay, well, how far is it a trip up to the city? Because we should travel while it's light. He like starts getting into his, he knows how to, I know how to travel.
I guess it might take us a day. Was that right?
You'd probably get there maybe sort of, it's dawn literally, so I reckon you get there early evening.
Oh, great. We are pretty darn close. So we could definitely get there. We could get accommodations for the evening. It would be great. Oh, so excited to be back in a city. Oof.
The land is completely flat, so you can literally just see everything, and your path is going to be straight.
Is there like, can we see like a road or a path like that follows the river? I assume there's sort of
you can see roads that follow the river. You can see roads that come from other places that come into Wroat. This is almost like a spider web coming into Wroat with all these roads. and you will see, just drifting overhead, a couple of dots in the sky, colourful dots. And Tart will absolutely know these are airships.
So cool.
Are those airships? I've always
Yeah,
seen
they
them
are.
too far away.
Mm-hmm. But they cross all the time. So you will see lots when we get there.
That's so neat.
Mm-hmm.
And wait a second, is Wroat? There's lightning rail there, right?
Yup.
Oh, Besh is now like, okay, tower, sword bridge, very cool, but lightning rail and airships, we probably should head out, right? Time to go,
Oh,
right?
Yep, we should start going because then we don't have to stop today. And you can really almost go anywhere from Wroat because the lightning rail connects to all sorts of cities.
Well, back across the bridge, down and around.
Yep.
So you're all gonna just sort of head back out and down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay.
Is there a way to get down this tower, or is the only
No.
way back across?
The only way back up
that
is
makes
right
sense, yeah.
up there. And so you guys will have to go back across and you go down. And as you step back out, you can, because it's so clear this morning, you can see Wroat in your sights. You can see like the tops of it as it's almost like over a slight, not a hill or anything, but the flats of sort of dip up and down. And you guys can start to walk and follow the river. With Blue trudging behind you. He's a lot slower than everyone else. And you can follow the river, you can stick to the path, and you'll follow the river until it comes to almost like a needle point, which looks almost like a spring where the Dagger River finishes. And you can see another river sort of break out of it and start to get wider and wider. And you can follow that. Is there anything you would like to do on the way? Would you stay in silence? Would you chat?
Oh, I think I think Vesh is talking to everyone because he's in that sort of excited type thing. And Matt, so have you been on the lightning rail or on an airship or on other things other than a boat?
I was on an airship once. They're very fun. He doesn't explain that the situation was not fun at all, and it was not a fun time or good, but he understands that Vesh would be excited about such a thing. So, quickly tries to pick out anything that might be interesting and fun for Vesh. Is like, it rained.
So did you stay dry? Was it bumpy when it rained?
It did get bumpy when it rained.
Was it scary? He kind of asks with a smile, like, was it a roller coaster?
It was scary in a good way.
Yeah,
We're not quite sure if there is such a thing, but yeah.
This one time when I was out by a river and I slipped in the mud, because I do, and I slid for like a long way, and at the time I was falling and it was terrible, but when I got to the bottom it was awesome. So I went up and did it 3 more times. So maybe like that.
Yes, like that.
Sometimes clumsy isn't all bad, as he says, and trips over non-existent something in the road. Probably his foot.
I was to say probably your own foot, or just like a pebble-sized thing.
Yes.
Blue sort of trundles along and gets to Tart. You are happier than yesterday, I think.
That is very observant of you, Blue. Yes. She's spinning her parasol, which has all these patterns on the front of it, and she's practicing different ways of turning it to see how they look. Ooh. That's a good one. See? Mm-hmm.
I see. And sort of just watching as you do it.
No, don't look too close, Blue. Don't look too close.
And he just does that.
That's too far.
I have to do it. Vesh looks too close.
Oh no. No. Oh dear.
It's okay. I don't think it's horrible, but were you saying that of don't look too close, don't look. Of course, Vesh looked, and immediately.
Can you describe what happens to Vesh?
Oh, I think he sort of like looks over his shoulder and then is trying to walk backwards, and then she's spinning the thing and probably just does that, sort of falls, does a little bit fall over, but catches himself. I'm good. I'm good. I didn't fall. Look, I'm not even dirty, Tart.
That is good.
That's one really crazy umbrella you got
I
there.
know. Haven't done this in a long time. Yeah, old act. Cool.
So you guys continue to walk all the way. You can feel like it's almost like you can feel like autumn is coming in. There's a chill on the air, but the sun is warm, and it's something probably quite refreshing. And you can still smell like the saltiness of the sea, even though it's come up from the river. And as you approach, you can see Wroat. This is a huge city, and it is walled with the towers scaling upwards. And probably to Tart's utter delight, she can hear civilization again. There is a lot happening here. You can hear voices and people. There's buzzing life. And you can approach these huge main gates. You can't even see over the top of these huge walls. As you can see the teeny tops of maybe the castle, which sits in the middle of this river as it opens up, in a man-made island where this castle sits, with little man-made sort of bridgeways, walkways. Some of them you can tell they probably only are revealed to you when the tide is out. But around that sits a huge buzzing city. It's mainly humans here, as you can look around. As people were coming in and out, you are now on a busy road. There are carts trying to get past you, and every now and then you hear like "Oi!" as some people sort of push past you, or you're in the way or something.
As they were getting closer, Tart would have pulled her big black cloak and hood back on and switched to Ophelia as they neared other people.
Yeah, you can do that. You walk through these huge gates, and you are just filled with this monument, like the feel of how big these are. It's a monumentous feeling. You look up, and it feels like you can't see the tops of the walls, how tall they are. And you can see a few clouds coming overhead from where they've drifted in from the storms over the mountains. And when you sort of look up at something that's really tall and the clouds move, and you feel like the walls are swaying. They're not. But it's giving that motion. There are long winding streets and cobbled streets, some wider than others. Lots of colour, lots of almost like streamers and bunting between the buildings, some washing lines, and huge clocks sits jutting out of the buildings.
I think Vesh has gotten more nervous as we've gotten closer. The idea of Wroat in a big city is a whole nother thing. I think he's sort of in that same kind of. You see him trying to tiptoe again. He's sort of tried to pull into himself. Wroat is people and carts and clotheslines and all the things that give him trouble. Kids darting in and around his long legs, and I don't know how agriculture this is or how urban it is. Whether there's
there's some people like walking cows.
Oh yeah, so I mean, small, goats, chickens that dive across, whatever, little things, cats, dogs, things that just become minefields for Vesh.
So it's a real mixture of people. You've got farmers that are probably bringing their cattle to market. You've got kids messing about, sort of trying to weave in between each other as they chase each other. And then you have very well-dressed people, very smartly dressed. And you will notice here a lot of the clothes, you see some cloaks, you see some waistcoats, dresses. The material seems to move as an illusion. The color never stays the same on some of them. You can see some people have bought cloaks with almost like a galaxy star constellation type pattern, and it constantly rotates as they move. Now,
We're going shopping.
Tart,
We're going shopping.
this is Glamour Weave. This is the place where Glamour Weave is big here. This is the royal city, so everyone wants to look their best most of the time. And it's also a mode of shift weave, so it's like magic or enchantment put into materials to create scenes.
I need it. I need it. I need it.
I love how much this group goes shopping. Like, I love it so much.
Yes, I need it.
No, I think even more distractions, and I think I look at Tart because I think she's probably vibrating.
Like, you see some like cloaks that walk past, and some of them, depending on people are liking things from where they're from. So you see a cloak that seems completely dark and black, and someone sort of sweeps past you, Vesh, as you stop looking at these others in the way. They move their cape around, and it's almost like a flash of lightning comes from underneath their cape.
Emet. Can you just hold me? Can you just hold me a little?
Emet like reaches his arms out
It's so beautiful.
and holds her, but doesn't really know what to do or why.
It's just so pretty and so opposite of the sewers, you know? It's like, just give me a sec. It's really pretty.
He hands her like a corner of his little cloak to wipe her eyes.
It's so pretty. I want
The
it.
colors are nice.
Do you see? It's like a magic. I need to chill out. Sorry, Ophelia is very, very serious, but it's so cool.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Can I don't, is it breakable? Is it fragile?
It's magic. It's fine.
It looks expensive.
Yes, it is, and I have a great idea to commission something. I could get like a blue dress, and it would have like the city of Sharn. It would like show it, and I could have a little Tart dancing through it. It would be so cool. I got it. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm not excited. This is good.
This is the look on Vesh's face.
No, same though. Same.
You can see Blue just tapping things that are on the walls. Like there's these huge clocks above you, like giant clocks. They're bigger than Emet and Vesh, like put together. They're just huge, and they dot from all the way up to all the way down. And you can see where Blue is just tapping a little metal disc on the wall out of intrigue. It's literally like I don't know if you know what a scratch dial is, but it's like a scratch dial on the side. They're probably something old before the clocks were there, so they're sort of built into the walls.
What did you find, Blue?
Marks in the wall.
What do they do? and
I like
Vesh
it both
taps
sat
one.
there just tapping this. Could you roll a history check for me, whoever's trying to work out what they are?
I'm not even gonna roll because I don't think that.
Yeah,
Vesh,
don't roll if you don't think. It's...
I don't think Vesh would have any idea what they are. So he's just sitting there tapping with Blue.
No idea. I'm
Okay.
distracted.
Yeah, distracted. For Emet, you all know, probably from maybe during the wars and things like that, when a lot of the power might have been shut down, a scratch dial was something you would pick up a stick or a metal rod or something, and you would put it into the wall, and it would effectively act as a sundial. So people could tell the time and what time of day. Things would still happen even if they went into full lockdown with no power.
So as Vesh and Blue are now tapping on this, I will explain, like, this is what they use to tell time when the power goes out. I don't explain how or why I know that.
You think they would just look up at the sun?
I was gonna say the same thing. That's how I tell time. Of course, it's sometimes I'm not right, but
That's true.
Or it rains.
It's like sunset, right?
It's coming up to that sort of time because it's sort of, I guess, sort of autumn time. It's getting darker earlier, but like shops and things still seem to be pretty buzzing.
Shops and things?
Yes.
All right, no. Okay.
As the Santa bells start.
Yeah, like
On
literally.
cue.
Okay. I know that we should find like accommodations or whatever. I mean, we're pretty actually, you know where we're close to? We are close to, because we came in from the southwest.
Mhm.
We are close to Parliament. So, but they're probably done for the day. So we can't start the paperwork till tomorrow to go to Broken Blade Castle. So we should find somewhere to sleep. And I can get us somewhere to sleep. Even if I don't look like this. This is probably for tomorrow.
Well, do you want to be tart for tonight?
Yes!
Okay. And he's like really excited for you.
Yeah. Okay. And she kind of like hugs him and like buries her face in him. And then when she looks up, she's Tart again.
Hi, Tart.
Hi. Okay. We're going
Are
to
you
the
gonna swing for
shopping.
the chandeliers again?
Well, yes, that's how I'm going to get us free lodging because I have a whole thing called by popular demand. So we will be fine. Yes,
He
I
just kind of
will.
looks at you as like,
But I
okay.
need a new outfit first, one that changes colors.
Right. And he kind of looks at it, he's like, well, I got orange and yellow and purple covered. It's his.
Yep.
So are you walking down these streets?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So these are old buildings. This is an old city. Lots of, but the shops seem to have been built within the old, maybe fortress or some like old granaries and things like that. And there is a flurry of color, like of all these markets. You can just smell the spices, the food. This is a port city like Shan, so you can smell all the things that have come from the other lands, all these exotic things. You see lots of material, like you see scarves, you see hats, you see robe, everything. Everything is being sold here. Boots, you name it.
Spices and foods, you say? Rubber.
Lots of
Rubber,
food. You can smell it. You can't necessarily see it yet. This seems to be a district where it's mainly clothes and things. However, your nose tells you a bit further on. There's
He's
food.
like, he goes down to his stomach as it starts to growl to try to get it to stop because he doesn't want to embarrass himself with all these fancy people around. He goes, sorry, all I've had is a potato and jerky all day.
Yeah. No, we should eat. I just don't want to miss. She's looking for like a couture house.
You go find a place to hang from the chandeliers with a new fun stuff to wear.
Uh-huh.
I got more jerky. I can stand until we can get somewhere.
Okay. I'm finding a couture house.
There's close by. There's a what looks like a shop that goes all the way back into this building. But out the front, they've got lots of colourful silks and things like that are like. And you notice as you look at them closer, so one of them is almost like an oil slick, and you can see it moving on some of like the scarves and the robes on there. And there's a little gnome, brightly, just so over the top, colourfully dressed, little waistcoat, shirt, like harem pants style, like trousers on, huge boots that definitely look too big for them, stood cross-legged on a very tall stool, one side.
Hello.
Ash steps behind Emmet to make sure he doesn't mess this up for Tart. Don't let me screw this up. She's having way too much fun. He sort of whispers into Emmet's ear, this is her sword bridge.
Hello, good Sir Gnome.
Ebet agrees not to let Vesh mess up.
Oh, hi. Like, he just sort of puts a hand up. What can I help you with?
Is this your store?
It is. And what sort of thing are you looking for today?
Just like the prettiest thing you have. I'm a performer. I am a dancer from Sharn, and she pulls out a business card.
And she's, oh.
Well,
It's very nice.
is it for all of you?
Like, she sort of looks over, like, at Vesh. And then
Vesh
he
looks
sort of-
terrified behind Emmett and is just trying to be as quiet and as still as possible, even though he's about a foot taller than Emmett.
You know what? Yes. Yes. All of us.
Kaya
That one
turns.
as well.
like, looks at Kaya.
She turns and leaves.
Okay, bye. Yes. We'll get something for her to go. Oh, I actually can do her measurements.
Come with me, come with me.
And this little gnome like jumps off the stool and just starts running into the store. When you go into this store, the ceiling is high and there's lots of colorful drapes all over the ceiling. So you can't see the ceiling. It's just like a mass of material and just I say rails. It's just on the walls everywhere. It's just every color you could imagine. Some of the materials moving, like the patterns are moving. Some of it isn't. Kaya, what has happened as you're about to leave? Does anyone try and stop Kaya?
I do. Emmett rolled a 14 just to reach out and see if they can't, like, just grab their shoulder. Not if they try and pull out, they let him go, but...
What does Kaya do?
Kaya, as the hand hits her shoulder, she just stops and just sort of turns around, eyes locked back to the ground, but doesn't say anything more.
And Emmett whispers into Kaya's ear, "Note, none of us left you."
There's a moment, like a brief hesitation, and she nods.
Oh, you're muted.
Emmett nods and then turns back to watch Tart.
Okay, so back in the store, this gnome has started pulling out these rails that seem to just come out of nowhere on the side of these walls, just pulling out material. Like this little gnome, she's really, really small, and she's got this long stick with a hook on, and she's just like pulling things down as well, just like item after item. There's harem pants, there's tops, there's dresses, there's cloaks, there's absolutely everything. And you can see Blue is slowly getting covered because he's not moving.
I was gonna say Vesh has probably got his arms out trying to say it's like I see me like just having things hung, you know. Tart's just like, well, hold that. Sorry, your voice and Tart's voice. Yes, no, yes, no.
Yes, that would go good with his eyes, and Emmett, that would match your beard perfectly, and that will be good for Kaya, because I think, like, purple is a really good color for her.
So,
As you say that, she looks up, and there's almost this look of like she just woke up. I've always liked purple. Can it do indigo? She says as she turns to the gnome. This is the first time she's spoken in hours.
Oh, hi. I could do both. Do you want it to chop and change as you move?
So cool.
And then there's a sort of, she turns and is Vesh within within about 5 feet of her?
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, Vesh is he's sort of trying to be helpful and not harmful to this whole situation. So he's trying to be still, but he's also, he's also 8 feet tall in the middle of the shop. Luckily, it has high ceilings, and maybe he's probably even helped maybe grab things once or twice. If the gnome points him to, because 8 feet tall, he's probably got a 10-foot reach on him. So.
Kaya turns to Vesh, and this sort of impish, devilish smile curls across her face. Do you trust me, Vesh?
It's a pause. But then goes, yeah?
She turns back to the gnome, her voice a little softer, and says, "Can you make it react to sound?"
I don't know. How do you mean? I'd have to figure that out. That might take some time. It's mainly just the way it looks.
So, could I be like change color around like particular sound or a particular voice? Because I've got this kind of neat skill where I can change my voice how I'd like.
I can get it to react to your voice. I can't make it make sounds, but I can make it react to your voice.
That'll be perfect. So if something's sort of nice and purple and indigo when I sound like this, And then if my voice ever starts to turn to something like this, could you make it black instead?
If you want, just plain
I'd love
black.
that.
It's quite boring, really. I mean, I can
Black.
do a lot more.
Black and little bits of, I don't know. Vesh, you seem to know him pretty well. What colors do you think would work on Echo?
Black and navy.
Ooh, I think he'd like that.
And like the gnome sort of just like
Never mix black and navy.
I share a look with the gnome.
like they both
Because
look at each
Vesh
other
has no idea. He's just thinking deep blue, and black.
oh no, it's literally just the gnome and Tart having
Yeah.
that glance look
Yeah.
like
You guys know nothing.
just walk off. And this gnome just starts pulling out all of these bits of material. There's nothing pre-made for like this black and navy type thing because the gnome just wouldn't do it.
Well, or black, like I say, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about. That blue and black stuff. That you all,
Cobalt, please.
that's also Tall Squall not knowing how to
No,
say
no,
the
no,
colors
but
right.
the gnome is like
I studied at the university. I know my fashion degree. I got it.
and just sort of
Thank
disappear.
you.
And
You know, like the night sky. That's what I was going for.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Do you want
Yeah,
any
like
stars
how things
on
are
it?
black and dark blue. No, he
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
no
yeah.
stars though. Like just black.
He wants
and-
an ombre effect.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
like and just sort of disappear.
Okay.
And what are the rest of you looking for?
Oh my god. Okay. So okay. So imagine the blue dress from Anastasia, right? So it's like strapless and
Here
cinched.
we go.
I love how into this you are.
Okay. And there's like a little sheer capelet coming out the back. Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's also like a jumpsuit at the same time. And it changes colors. It's like the dark blue with the sparkles and they're like stars, like just really subtle shifting gold stars. Yep.
And so,
Yep.
like this.
And just gets this long stick out and just like stands on a stool and starts reaching up again. And pulls basically what you said down from the thing. The
Like
only
holds
thing
up
with
her eye
it
to it.
is like there's like a shooting star thing, so but it just crosses across the material and sort of whizzes
Like
around.
bursts.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I want. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what about the rest of you? Or do you want to see what else there is? Like what I've already got in stock.
Do they change shape too?
No, I will have to make these to your shape if I don't have your size.
No, I just mean, they change color and everything, but you know, I've heard of shift weave that actually changes shape between different outfits and things, right? Well,
It depends. It depends how much you want to pay. I mean, it's also stretchy.
And like they're picking up like the material and trying to like show the elastication in it.
Tart pulls out a sack, a heavy sack that's got the 5-headed Hydra of House Fiarlan on it, and just like has
Says-
it down.
And she's just like,
Oh, you work for House. Oh my god. Okay.
oh, and like this like gnome disappears up, and you can hear like chaos somewhere where things are being dropped and like material starts being thrown out in your direction.
Yep.
And it just comes out with this. You can't see the gnome anymore, apart from these little legs and arms. It just comes out and just drops all these things in front of you. He's like,
Did you have anything in particular you wanted?
and then just like a weird curtsy because you're not Ophelia, but
No,
like,
no.
like you've got the symbol.
I can do anything, and I can have it all done in like 3 hours.
Oh my god, amazing.
What about him?
And just sort of like points to Vesh, and then sees Blue and Ina. Is like,
I haven't seen one of those in a while. Do they need something?
Maybe like a sash, Yeah,
A sash?
just a simple sash to really accent the beard and the eyes.
Even though he's got this.
as she sort of like lifts up Emet's cape and looking at it like,
New cape, new sash.
Add pockets to the cape.
Yes.
Pockets. Okay. What sort of thing do you want? I can do plain colors, moving colors, illusions. What do you want? What are we talking here?
Emmet has like no idea, so if confusion could be there, it would be pockets. And then just looks to Tart.
Just nice, something simple, chic and simple.
I mean, I can do plain.
Earth tones.
Earth
Vesh
tones
just
looks
says out of nowhere.
Like not so. I want to just like. I see this brown, and I think maybe like make it less brown.
Like an emerald green.
You can
Can
do
you
an
make it-
emerald green.
You make it like springtime.
I can make it like springtime. I can make it look like a boulder or a rock if you want. I can make it look like anything. I just need to know what you want.
Like
Do you want it to?
And this gnome then looks at your big mossy beard, and it's like,
Do you want it to look like that?
Vesh's face. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
and she gets out this little like notebook and starts like scribbling things down.
And Vesh like, can you make it so the flowers like open and close and bloom?
Oh yeah, but the only thing is it'll probably be light dependent. So at nighttime they'll close up, but in the morning they'll probably open. But
And
I can
Vesh
add
is just like,
fireflies if that helps.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So, seeing as your demeanor changed a few seconds when my friend got her purse out, I was wondering, do you have anything that looks really, really heroic? Like, side cape and like, a really nice, like, not corset or anything, but something, big collar, really says, hi, I'm here to do business, but I'm also good.
I got a jacket.
Ooh, yeah, I'll see
Like
that.
a jacket. I mean, I'm not telling anyone like I stole the print, but they weren't nice anyway.
But and this sort of like comes out, and there's a couple of jackets, like ridiculously huge lapels.
Oh, lovely.
They're over the top, like pirate style, huge jackets, short, long, everything.
Yes. Let's see. Can I get that in mid? But then can I also get like a side cape thrown on?
Yeah.
And she's just like writing all this.
The colors.
So
Rating to move. What do you want?
well, like the indigos and purples, like we talked about. But then with the whole reacting to my voice, right? But you said that they can kind of change. Is there any way that we can make it go from heroic to a little bit more like stealthy or devilish or something?
Do you mean I make it black?
Yeah, like we talked about, yeah. But I don't know if like the side cape could retract or like come out longer, like a train or something.
Are
You know,
someone
something-
who paints around a lot then?
If I say yes,
okay,
is that
then
better?
that's fine.
oh,
That's fine. Well, then you might actually want this.
And she sort of comes out and pulls out this cape, which looks really dull and boring and grey, and hands it to you.
Like you see Kaya's face disappear behind the cape as she holds it out, and then slowly lowers it.
Well,
Really?
Put it on then. Put it on.
Put it on.
She throws it on.
You will notice as Kaya moves to move it around, she blends in with the background.
oh.
It just adapts to what's near you. Don't get me wrong, I can't quite get the shades right yet. Like, it's slightly off, but...
And you can see your head. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
pretty cool. You're like a floating head cool person.
So like you can sit. So if Kaya is currently up against like a row of like a rack of coats, and you see these coats effectively through Kaya, but they move as she moves. It's like a camouflage.
So you know what I said about the side cape?
Yeah.
Can I work that into the side cape?
Well, I can just amend this one if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, that would be lovely.
Okay. That's fine.
Cool. Okay,
Thank you
and
for being so patient.
literally last thing, promise. I just need a performance outfit. I'm going to describe it to you. And then she's going to describe the pink outfit that
She just gets
wears
this,
for
like-
Moulin Rouge.
Notepad
Yes.
out. There you go.
Feathers, corset,
Oh my god. Okay. Yep.
sweetheart, short,
Yep.
sparkles.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Great.
And then
Met- taps Tart on the shoulder,
Hmm.
leans down, is like, can we make a blue cape for Blue?
And the blue cape for Blue.
And as Tart is going through the list, Kaya, feeling cheeky, a little bit more like her cheery self, she twists her voice and says, "And also, can we get it so that way it says saucy on the bum?"
I mean, it's
Oh.
a bit tacky, but I can.
Like, this is like you're speaking to like a fashion level or whatever. He's like,
I assume she
Fine.
meant on her bum. Because my bum speaks for itself.
She says, "No, I was kidding. No one's bum needs to say saucy."
Well, okay, so I've got blue cape, master cape.
like starts going through everything. He's like,
What about this guy?
and then points over at Vesh, who's just towering. Are you like hiding at the back? Because you're covered in
I
clothes.
am kind of hiding because Vesh doesn't know he's kind of like, I'm tall and clumsy.
I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. Are you okay with this surprise?
Yeah. And
Okay.
he kind of, yeah.
Okay. I got it.
Do
I'm
you
good-
want me to take him outside? Like, Blue is just like looking at Vesh as soon as you say surprise.
Well, we're all going to leave. So I will just tell this lovely, lovely artist what we need for Vesh. And I've got his measurements. It's fine. And she scribbles something down. She hands it to the gnome.
Okay. And then he's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I can do that.
Great.
Vesh is like terrified but excited. It's like midwinter all over again. Midwinter festival. I don't know what it's called in Ebberon.
it's basically that. It's basically that. So as this gnome now basically takes this big like sack of like coins and gradually sort of tries to get it out the bag, she starts to work away on all your things as you leave the shop.
Vesh's stomach growls.
Cool. Perfect. So food time, and then we're going to get the place to stay. Then we're going to come back and pick up our stuff because magic is the best.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. 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 What was the name of the store?
It was called Tilly's Tailoring.
Tinny's?
Tilly's Tailoring.
Oh,
Tilly the gnome.
Tilly's Tailoring. Great. Perfect. Okay. Right, food. Nearest, yummiest food. We should go look.
Okay, so you walk down a lot of these streets and you can see smaller ones branch off, and every single street is packed with something, whether it's food, drink, bars, taverns, everything. There's a lot of taverns around you in general, and then there's also some like street food type things.
Anything that
around.
smells like fresh bread or like baking type idea.
You can smell it's like a bakery style thing, but you can see them with like a wood-fired oven out the back, and they've got a long sort of like handle, and they're putting these really sort of like nice like flatbread type things, and then they've got like what looks like a deep vat of oil where someone is moving the dough from hand to hand, dropping it in the oil, and then it sort of puffs up before they put on what just looks like this amazing sort of sauce and sprinkle it with other bits and bobs.
Vesh, as you all are walking by, Vesh is just like watching this fascinating experience of these flatbreads going into this oven, and it smells good. And I assume that there's like meats and cheeses on top of those flatbreads. He's a 16-year-old guy who just saw his first pizza parlor.
Yeah.
Kaya puts her hand on Vesh's wrist. She says,
He's like,
"Do you want one?"
whatever everybody else wants is fine.
Kaya gives him a big grin.
What everybody else wants is not fine.
Kaya gives him a giant grin and says, "Vesh, for you, I'd be happy to try this if that means you get some too."
Tart, it's your day. It's your day. It's your day back in the city. What do you want to have?
That sounds perfectly fine to me.
Okay.
Carbs are good for energy.
And I think actually Vesh will just kind of ask, because Matt, is there something we can get special for you?
I am good.
Well, I got to do the bridge, and Tart got to buy pretty things, but we haven't done something just for you.
Emet takes a moment, because up to this point, I mean, they've always just gone with whatever order was given. And there's a long pause before he answers. And then just says, enjoy your pizza, Vesh. Or enjoy your flatbread, Vesh. It's enjoyable to see all of you happy.
Okay. As long as you're happy too.
Yes.
Let's find a table.
So there are lots of tables down these small side streets. There's just loads, absolutely everywhere. And it looks like maybe you go sort of order at the place and then things are brought out, or you take it for you. But this looks like a really nice sort of homely, easy thing. It's cozy.
Yeah, if Vesh is gonna be like, I assume there's like all. I mean, I'm picturing it's this big open window pizza joint with
Yes, there's no
so,
like literally it's an archway into a building, and that's where it is.
And I'm assuming that we can sort of see where there's all the different toppings and stuff. And Vesh starts looking very confused, and then was like, just sort of kind of looks to Tart and looks to Kaya. I don't even know where to start. And kind of leans over. Do you think we can get them all? He sounds very like very naughty, very conspiratorially. Like, is that like just totally not done? Is that navy in black to ask for them all?
Well, one of my favorite restaurants back in Sean, you could always ask for the monk special.
What's the monk special?
You make me one with everything.
Oh. I don't get it.
It's about, being at peace. You know what? Never mind. See if you can ask them for one with everything on it.
Okay.
Just be careful, don't do pineapple.
What's a pineapple?
It's this thing back in Stormhome we got. They're like kind of spiky. They're really sweet, but they don't go on flatbreads.
Yes, they do.
No, they do. Kaya doesn't think so.
do.
They totally do.
I was gonna say, sorry. I'm using the safety system.
No, Derek believes they do. Kaya doesn't.
Okay, so there's this like pizza place or whatever, and there's a woman that is behind. It's not even really a bar; it's just a table, and she's got dough out, and she's working it, and she's got someone else in the back by the ovens.
So Vesh sort of, kind of like does it, the weird sort of slide step forward, and sort of bends down. Goes, can I get a flatbread like the ones that go in the oven back there, but with all of it?
You want a bit of everything?
Yeah.
No problem. How many are we having? And she looks at all of you. 3?
Yeah. And I guess we can come back and get more if we want more, right, Tart?
I mean, they don't take long to cook.
Yes, we can come back if we need more than 3 pies with everything on them.
Well, I want everything, but everybody doesn't have to get the same thing I get. I just figured I can't make up my mind.
3 with everything.
And this woman just looks like she claps her hands together and she can't help it, but there's like a puff of flour as she does it. And she just starts working away. And you can see her move so quickly. She's reaching over with all of her arms, filling these up. And before she folds them over and just drops some of them into the deep fryer and some of them into the oven out the back.
So before Tart can pull out her money, goes, I'll buy this because it's been a good day.
Okay.
And I don't know how much it's going to cost, and he has no idea, but it's his only gold that he has. He basically, so he just goes, it looks at her, he looks kind of embarrassed, and it's like, will this be enough? It's all I have.
Of course it will, my dear. Give it.
And she sort of does, and she disappears, and there's like rooting into like this massive apron that is caked in like flour, sauces, and everything, and pulls out 2 silvers. Like, there you go.
Thank you.
And she's there
We've
a couple
had a
of
good
minutes.
day, and we're celebrating.
Oh, wonderful. What are you celebrating?
Friends.
Yeah, friends.
Well, that's a good thing to celebrate with food. I think so, anyway.
I do too.
These pizzas are done like in seconds, these big flatbread type things, and she immediately wraps them up in like a paper and starts handing them off to all of you. It'll be hot if you bite into it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's the. I'm sure you
Like-
take a bite of pizza, it burns the top of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Vesh does anyway, and luckily he's a cleric, so as he, I'm sure, promptly burns the top of his mouth. But there's that moment. There's that just. Oh, it's so good.
Right. And you'll see as Vesh eats it, like a stringy sort of like type thing is just getting longer and longer.
Fun. And yeah, actually, Vesh ends up with like the long string of cheese like over his shoulder somehow, because it's Vesh.
Good. Tart can eat, so she.
Yeah. I guess you were saying there's sort of like tables in the alleys or whatever.
As Kaya goes to get her first bit, she puts it to her mouth. She's I miss being wizardly. I just blow on my food a little bit, and she blows on it, and there's actually this sort of cooling effect that comes from her lips as you see a bunch of the steam from it sort of dissipate. And she's just sort of, did everyone see that? I'm not, and she like looks in the nearest reflective surface that she can. That wasn't you, was it? No? Okay. We're not dreaming? She pinches her cheeks a few times.
You did a thing.
Did a thing? And she bites into it.
And it is delicious.
It's the perfect temperature. Oh, and who's sitting next to Kaya? Like, who would be right next to her?
Probably Vesh. I mean, I could
Okay.
see Vesh would be sitting next to Kaya.
Pizza in hand still. She leans over and she just hugs him. Vesh, I did magic. Did you see? Oh my god,
You did a thing.
I did. Oh, this is lovely. All the things. I can clean all the things again. Oh my gosh. She turns to Tart. She says, it would be so easy to clean things if we have to go through the sewers again. You won't have to do all the work.
Great.
I know.
Don't know if it's here or whether it be at a different stall. Are there sweet fizzes by? Soda pop.
There are that sort of thing nearby. There's like, they sell them along with the food.
Yeah.
Like they're on
As Vesh has been trying to learn how to like beer, but he just doesn't, or ale, or wine, or mead. The fact that there is just a sweet carbonated beverage that he can drink, he's having the best day of his life.
So, what is Emet doing at this point?
Well, everyone eats. I mean, it's kind of honestly every time everyone eats, Ashley gets super hungry and misses the fact that she's playing a character who can't eat. But Emet almost gets a little bored after a while. It just kind of looks around, takes in the surroundings, just kind of looking at the people. Almost, not necessarily suspiciously, but almost as just a reflex, taking in the surroundings and noting everything and keeping track of everything. And then after a moment remembers, oh wait, I have a Blue also. And looks to see what Blue is up to.
Blue is just standing and watching, and you can see some children are sort of circling him, like just out of interest. They're not like him. But they circle him, and he's just looking at them, and he's seen people like pat things on heads before, so he's just patting them as they go round.
For a moment, if anyone was watching, Emmet's eyes flash orange. And they still, like before where they're kind of like leaning back and forth, maybe stroking their moss beard, the moment they see that, they stiffen and still, their eyes flash orange, and then force themselves to relax again as they see that everything's okay. And they continue they're looking around.
I could see, Vesh, because of course he probably ate too fast and drank too much soda. There's still part of Vesh that never really had a great childhood, and so he sees these couple of kids and Blue sort of, they're running in circles, and he was like, I can show you a game. And then goes over and proceeds to teach Blue and the kids how to play Duck, Duck, Goose. Like over in this alley.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that.
And I can see Vesh. Vesh has probably never been very good at it. He was clumsy even when he wasn't big. So he probably, in a goal, because he probably could even like reach across the circle at his size, but lets the kids sort of run around him. And I don't know whether Blue would try to, do the duck or not, but they play Duck, Duck, Goose over in the alley after dinner and soda and a day.
Yeah, you can do that. This is all sort of just, you feel relaxed for the first time in a long time since the traveling, the sewers, all of that. You can sit, you can have a drink, and you guys can watch probably as Blue and Vesh are sort of playing about. And now a couple of hours or so goes by. And so you could probably wander sort of, that the gnome only said it's a couple of hours anyway, or would you like to move on, try and find somewhere to stay?
Yeah, we probably need to get accommodations for a while, or at least the night to start with.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking at taverns, or are you looking for something completely different?
A tavern is fine. She's looking for somewhere that has like nightly performances or something so that she can haggle for free accommodations for them.
Okay, so there's like a tavern slash bar type thing. It has a stage, it has everything. It looks like they have performances every single night. You can see where they normally set up a band in the corner. And you can see that tavern itself. And it looks like they have rooms upstairs. This goes up and up and up.
Whoa.
So just mental picture of the city. I know Sharn was very vertical in its architecture. This more spread out. I mean, is everything like 10? Is things like 2-3 story buildings, or is it like 10-story buildings? Other than the citadel and the castle, or what's sort of like
the higgledy-piggledy. So there's a mixture. Some of them are really, really tall, and then some of them are really, really small, and they're all just sort of built into each other, and other bits have just bits added onto the top. This tavern type place, this bar sort of entertainment thing, this one is quite tall, but definitely got some add-ons close to the top.
Gotcha. Cool. Is this the place, Tart?
This one looks pretty good. What's it called?
The Prancing Jester.
Ooh. Sweet. Yes, this one will do nicely.
So yeah, you guys can walk in. This is quite a buzzing place. There's a lot of people in here. It looks like it's probably like a regular thing where a lot of people go if they do shows every evening. It comes across as very just fun. There's lots of vibrant and other colorful people in here. Again, you can see some of these, some of this clothing that is shifting and moving about. And you can see the band that is very colorful sort of sat. You can see their instruments propped up against the wall whilst they sit and eat and drink.
Cool. Is there an owner somewhere or someone who looks like they're in charge?
You can see a woman, very large, round woman behind the bar. She's got a ladle tucked into her apron on her sides, and she's washing down. She's sort of wiping down the bar.
I will skip over to her business card out. Hello, my good woman.
Oh, right. And she sort of takes it. So. Nice. Are you entertainer then?
Yes, I am a dancer.
Oh, what sort of dancer?
Oh, all sorts of dancing, but mostly kind of acrobatic dancing.
Oh, all right. Okay, that's fine then. When are you looking to perform here?
Sure, if you have openings.
Well, I've got an opening much later this evening. Much
Great.
later, sort of. It's probably the best time, really, but you know, it's all good. The deal is I give you, and it sort of looks back at the rest of them, your family, your posse. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Your posse. They all get a round of drinks, and whatever coins you get given by the crowd is yours.
Sweet. I love it. What about, do you have accommodations? If it goes well, you know, I might want to stay here for a while we are in town.
Yeah, no problem at all. We've got about 8 rooms still free. Depends what sort of thing you want. Do you want like rooms where you can match up and all sleep in the same room, or do you want your own room, or what do you want?
Oh.
Do you like the nicer room?
Me and Emmett could share. And Blue.
Maybe separate rooms, and then if the boys want to stay together, you can.
Yeah.
Well, we got plenty, so that should all be good.
Great. 3, please.
3, all right. And she just sort of bustles about a little bit and comes up with 3 keys and just slaps them down on the table. And it's got like a little card on it to attach to it with the symbol of the Prancing Jester on it, which is a jester's hat and 2 pairs of sort of like bouncing shoes.
So cool. I love it. I'm drawing it. Hold on. There it is. Got it. Perfect. So we still have time to pick up our clothes, maybe take a little nap, and we can just hang out for the night. Tomorrow there are things to be done. Things. Important things. Yes.
Can I get you a round of drinks or anything? Or yeah, what do you want?
Have those fizzy sweet ones.
Fizzy sweet. How old are you? Like looking at your height more than anything. How old are you?
16, 17.
Okay, as long as you're only drinking the fizzy ones, and sort of like reaches down and pulls up this big mug of this, and it's like popping and fizzing and everything like that as you go.
Caffeine and sugar.
Yeah.
Yay.
You know what? That looks pretty good. I'm going to have one of those too. I think Alice is frozen, but in the most beautiful.
In the most beautiful pose.
Expression. There you are.
There you're back.
Oh, God. So I always do that. Why does it always do it to me? Pulls up another drink and puts it down on the table and looks over at Vesh. Do you want a curly straw? Okay, that's a yes. He sort of reaches down and pulls out this curly straw and sort of puts it in there. And you at the back, and like points to Kaya.
Oh, yeah, I'll have what the tall ones having, please.
Oh, okay, wow, okay, three. Like this sort of reaches down and pulls up another one. It's like, oh wow, I haven't seen a Warforged in years. Like, and two of them as well. Like as she looks over at like Ema and Blue.
They're our friends.
Hello.
Hello. It's nice. Do you drink anything at all?
No.
Can I get you anything? I feel kind of rude.
A lot of people hand me empty glasses so they don't feel rude.
Like she just leans down and pulls up this two tankards and pushes towards you and Blue.
I'll hand one back to Blue.
And Blue is like turning it upside down and back to front, like looking at it.
I look at Blue and I put my pinky out, fancy, and hold the mug
Fancy.
like that.
We went to a really cool party in Sharn, and he and Vesh drinks his fizzy soda. There's got to be something that gets on his nose just because.
It's like a foam, we'll say, like something just like sort of goes over the top of you. You've got like one of those moustaches going on.
Yeah, because he was being fancy, and so he forgot about his curly straw, but then goes to his pinky and curly straw.
So you guys are in there for a little bit until you see Tilly, the gnome, come into the tavern. Comes sort of trotting, he's like, someone said they'd seen a group like you, and comes in with this big bag, and it's just like, done.
Oh my god.
Like she looks so pleased with herself right now. She's like, I really hope you like them.
You are
Look at
my
my
favorite person in the entire world.
Oh wow, thank you. No one's ever said that to me before.
Well, they should.
Oh, well. Okay. He's like, I did as you ordered for the tall one. And he points at Vesh and pulls out like this cape and things like it's completely tailored to your size. And as she like flaps it out, you can see that it switches from storm clouds into bolts of like electric blue lightning. And it's sort of different shades of blue as it's like the sky moves in the background with it.
That face is happening on Vesh.
Well, try it on, because I've got to make any adjustments if it's not right. She's like actually got onto the table to try and put it on you.
He kind of leans down and lets her sort of tie it on, I guess, because chainmail usually probably has like two hooks so that to link on to tie it on to the chainmail that he has on underneath. And so he is in pure wonder of it. And Tart, these are really expensive. You said these were really expensive, and I can't. This is.
Just put it on.
So he puts it on and gives a sort of a swirl, or probably doesn't give a swirl. He probably just like sort of moves it with his arm at first because he doesn't want to spin and fall. But yeah, and he can't stop looking at it. I mean, it's one of those things because is it like mid calf? So it's like
oh yeah, it's long. It's made to fit.
I mean, because with him being almost 8 feet tall,
and it's heavy. This is a heavy,
big, nice. I mean, it's in my mind. I don't know if I ever showed you as here. It's like my Thor cloak, that cape, which is like literally a theater curtain, So it's that type of idea, but in blue, and that has the lightning bolts that sort of go across there, or even just like the clouds across the mountain range. I figure like when he moves, it actually is lightning bolts, but otherwise it's like ripples of the lightning inside the clouds, illuminating them against the mountains. And so Vesh he gets real quiet for a little bit, and then he just sort of looks up and he just picks up Tart and just hugs her and probably spins around and tries not to fall. And it is better than Midwinter Festival. Thank you, Tart.
You're welcome, Vesh.
And you even had him put in a pocket for Frederick. Thank you.
And the gnome starts to pull out more things. First of all, pulls out Tart's these 2 outfits, both the dress and then this just incredible, just as you just described, entertainer's outfit.
I love it so much.
Like the gnome again is really quite happy about this, and then immediately pulls out the cloak and the other bit for Kaya, and there's a sash for Blue and a cloak for Blue that goes over it as well, which is just blue. It's simple blue. That's literally it. And then you can see as Emmett's has pulled out this, it looks like a blanket of moss with flowers. You almost wouldn't put it down as material. And you can see there's like what looks like a small hole in the corner, but it is part of the illusion, and a squirrel hops out and runs across the cloak before ducking behind the other side again.
For a moment.
Thought you would like that.
For the first time, there might be something like joy and like giggle escape from Emmett, and then it just closes down again.
If Vesh hears just any reaction whatsoever, it goes like, she's really good at this.
She is very good at this. Scary good at this.
And you hear something, just as you're all dressing this on and like putting all these bits on as you are, or playing about in them or whatever, and the gnome sort of bundles up with a smile and waves as you leave the door. And as the gnome moves, you see someone sort of like move around. I'm like, oh, sorry. Oh my god! Tart, Vesh, all of you, Kaya, Emmett, like, and you see Tarlin, like, oh my god, guys!
Tarlin!
What the hell are you doing here? I thought you were going the other way.
I thought you were going the other way, Tarlin. Sit down, sit down.
Okay, and he just sort of pulls a chair out and sits down. He's still dressed in his like traveler's gear. He pulls his head down.
I nudge Emmett. I go, Emmett, do we know him?
We do, Kaya. This is the boatman, the ferryman.
Oh yeah, hi, hello.
So, what brings you here? You came at the right time from the looks of it. And you're all looking really fancy.
Vesh sticks out his pinky.
Tarlin doesn't get it, but he just does that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Does it the same way. And he's like, so where are you guys staying? Why, I mean, I know you said you might come here, but why are you here?
Oh, you know.
The usual. Tart said we should go this way, so we just sort of followed.
I mean, where else were we going to go?
There's a castle, and there's airships, and there's lightning rail, and there's really cool cloaks.
I
and
can
fizzy
see.
sodas, and what are those things called? Pizzazz? We had some pizzazz.
Yes, pizzazz.
It's pronounced pizzazz, Vesh. We had pizzazz.
Pizzazz.
Yeah.
Jazz
Oh,
hands.
I haven't had one of those yet. I only pulled up about an hour and a half ago.
They're really good. They'll burn the top of your mouth, though.
Oh, and he just sort of smiles at that. And
How does Tarlin look? Does he look? He seems happy to see us, but does he look okay?
he looks happy. He looks tired, and upon seeing you, he starts to like straighten out his hair a little bit, like as he
Is he
sort
a
of
ginger? Am I remembering right? Is he a ginger?
yes.
Nice. A+.
And he's sort of just like, "Oh, yeah, I feel really good actually. Yeah, like, and he sort of puts his up, like, he's not wearing the best of clothes. He's a traveler. He's in grays and browns, and you can see like there's some holes in like the elbows, and he's just like, yeah, I haven't been here in a long time. It feels, just to relax,
Are you done with work?
Yeah, like he looks. You could probably guess that this is why he's so happy right now. He's like, I don't. He's just. That was the last job. I'm done. I'm signed off. I don't have to do anything now. I can go. I can get my boat. I've sent my boat down for repairs, and I can. I mean, I might have to sell it and get a bigger boat, but I can go to Zendrick.
As soon as he said that was the last job, Tart scans this room for
Yeah, can you roll a
anyone
perception
sketchy
for
looking.
me?
Sure.
What are you looking for specifically? Literally just someone sketchy, or because there's probably a
Someone
lot of
watching.
Oh,
Someone
watching.
watching him. Natural one.
You see
That seems
nothing.
about right. It's very crowded in here.
It's really crowded. It's busy. There's a lot of people and a lot of different people as well.
As you try to look, Vesh is like flourishing his cape, which
Ah.
basically blocks out everything.
It is very cool. I know.
So, and he's sat there and he's like, I'm gonna mend my boat, or I'm gonna buy a new one because why not? And then I'm gonna go to Zendrick, and I'm just gonna go and see what happens. I just want to see everything.
Can I come with you?
Yeah, why not? Like, I mean, more the merrier. It's a big empty ship. I can hardly do my old one on my own. So
That's where I've been trying to get to, is Zendrick.
Oh, why?
To meet old family. I have family there.
Well, that's nice. I ain't got family there. I literally just want to see what it's like. But yeah, if I can help someone get to their family, why not? Where are you guys staying?
Here.
Oh, I've heard it's good.
Yeah, you should stay here too. I'm going to dance later.
Oh, and he sort of flushes red a little bit. He's like, oh.
You should see her outfit. It's really small.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like, he's like really like going just red. He's like, oh, okay. Maybe, I mean, I'm staying like 3 houses down, but I mean, I can come in like and spend the evening with you.
Oh, here. Yes, in the lobby. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're having fizzy sodas.
Busy sodas.
I've never had one. I might have to get one.
We need to get another fizzy pop.
And the woman behind the bar's like just gesturing to you, like one, like
Big.
okay, like, and then like it picks up a curly straw, like
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
And this this woman comes over and just plonks it down, and he's like, "Wow, thank you." And he just sort of tucks into this drink, and he looks so happy. Like, he hasn't had all these sorts of things. You can tell he's probably literally just worked his entire life of moving things around constantly. Like, he's never had time to stop before. And he's like, wow. What you doing here? You literally just stopping over, or?
No, we have several things that we have to do while we're here that are very important, and we're definitely going to start on them in the morning.
Oh, like what?
Well, we're going to visit the castle, because that sounds fun, but that takes some paperwork. And then I was going to go say hi to some friends at the university. What do the rest of you want to do?
I might have everything solved. I was going to see if I could get an airship to Zendrick, but if Tarlin's taking his boat, maybe that's better, because it's always better to travel with friends. I still want to see the airships, though. Can we just go to, like, the harbor? What's the air harbor? Or Where did Vesh looks very confused, suddenly trying to figure out this how exactly airships work. I'm assuming there's like an not airport
Like,
or skyport.
Yeah, an airport.
Yeah, it's a skyport. It's like Tarlin drinks and he's like, oh, you mean the skyport? Yeah, that was quite. You should see the views up there.
Oh, it's up high. Oh, I wonder if it's as high as the sword bridge in the tower. We went across the sword bridge, and he starts just rattling off about his morning.
You went across that? Is that stable?
Well,
Yes.
it carried me and Emmet. We're pretty big. We have even made your boat tip a little.
Yeah, he did. Like, as he sort of thinks about it, remembering it, he's like, well, I mean, the university is gorgeous, and obviously you've got the big library in there. You've got all the other bits. There's so much here. There's all these shops. I don't know. And then he sort of, you can see he's about to comment on like the types of clothing, and he's like, never mind. Yeah, there's just so much here. And obviously you've got the king, but he's not here right now. But God knows where he is.
I swear.
He's like he takes a long summer holiday, so he takes quite a while.
Like
He'll be
most
back.
of the year.
He'll be back in like a month or so.
A month. Ooh. Well, there are other people. What, Vash?
Are you gonna see the king? He's like,
I am. Wink. I say wink.
oh, yeah. See,
Yes.
he's like, I still don't get it, but okay.
Tyre leans into Emmett and she goes, wait, why are we going to go see a king? No one told me about this.
I assume this is an Ophelia thing.
Oh, yeah, no, oh, okay, huh, neat, okay. Yeah, I really want to meet the king.
Well, he is not here, so.
Wait, are
but
we
I'm
staying
sure-
for a month?
I hope. Maybe. I don't know. It depends who we can talk to.
Well, Tart, you're really good at talking to people, so I think that you'd probably be able to talk to pretty much anybody while we're here. But so I've got the utmost confidence in you, really.
Depends if we can get in to see them.
I mean, I've got a friend who works in the city guard. He might, she might be able to help.
Maybe. I mean, I thought we'd go like the official route, but anyone who could, kind of grease their wheels, that would be good.
Well, she's high up in the city guard. I mean, I don't know. It might help. Or she
Yeah.
might know someone.
That's encouraging. She'd know what's going on in there.
Yeah, she's quite a force to be reckoned with. That's why she got the job she did. Like, he's sort of like just thinking to himself, like. But she's real nice, real nice.
Okay. That would be a good place to start then.
I mean, even if it can't, I mean, do you just need to talk to the king, or do you need to do other stuff? Because she can. If I say you're my friend, I'm sure she can get you in other places.
Darn's in trouble.
Right.
What?
Sharn.
You were
Has it
down
got
in the
that
sewer,
bad?
but everything up above things were going bad.
Warforged, giant bit of mist. Apparently, it's really not something you want to be in. It's not a good time. That's why we left.
The mist is bad for breathers.
And he looks at Emmett. He's like, Warforged. You're taking over the city. What, like fully, proper like?
They put everybody in their houses and then locked them up. But we think it's to keep them safe because something horrible's coming.
Oh,
And no one here seems to be talking about it, really, which is why we need to tell someone high up.
well, there ain't really any Warforged here. No offense. He looks at him and he's like, I didn't really like him.
Hmm.
And when they were just used for the manual labour out in the smaller towns.
Mm.
I'm surprised you haven't got more starers with these two.
Everyone sort of said they hadn't seen him in a while, but I was too busy looking at fabric and smelling food to notice.
It's easy to get distracted here.
Well, I mean, like, fair enough. I mean, it is nice. It's a nice float fish. So, but
I mean, we sort of stand out all over. Two pretty girls, two large people, one of them being a warforged, and now we're all dressed like this. We're going to draw some attention either way.
no, you're going to blend in with that clothing.
Well, that's comforting, I guess.
In a good way. Tarlin,
Yeah.
so what was your last job that you did?
Oh, I moved cloaks and goods and old like tatty books or stuff, like be reused and stuff for. And he looks a bit nervous, like, for Rizzo,
Yeah. Where'd you move them to?
Oh, I dropped him off here actually.
Oh, good. Was everyone like super satisfied with their delivery?
I don't know. I don't take them right to the source. Someone meets me at the dock and unloads it for me, and then they sort it. I just get the payment through and I send it off to Rizzo, and then I ain't got no problem.
Uh-huh.
Why?
No reason. No reason.
I mean, I know it's not a good job, but I can now look for a good job.
Right. Since you're going to be here a while, we're going to be here a while. So maybe just if you see anyone from like your old job, you just like come tell me about it.
Okay. Yeah, no, it sounds good to me. I mean, they don't normally come this way. That's
Right.
why I have my little tub that I just sort of come up and down the river on. But yeah, I can do that. I'm planning on being here for at least 2 weeks. I want a break before I start looking for another place.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Plus, the airships look really cool,
Yes, we should get you on an airship. Stat.
Wow, I want my boat.
Right. Right. You're very recognizable. Slow-moving boat. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He sort of looks at you, slightly confused. He's like, okay, well, do you want another round of drinks? I got paid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he jumps up and he disappears off. He sort of has to meander through this massive crowd of people.
Watching him. Watching him.
Yeah, you can watch him. And he's making like an order at the bar. And you see him sort of try and turn round and come back towards you with all the stuff. And he slowly meanders his way back through the crowd, like ducking under this huge walk that is in the... Excuse me. Yeah, this sort of weaves and then plonks all these drinks back down.
It was a very stressful minute for Tart just then. Just watching. Yum.
Kyle leans over to Tart and says, Tart, do you got a second? I need to run to the girls' room. And normally I haven't had any female chums to, come with me. So, like girls do.
Sure. Emet, will you watch Tarlin and Vesh for me?
I will watch Tarlin and Vesh for you.
And, Bluetooth, just watch everything all the time. Okay, bye.
I will watch everything. Apparently now, all the time.
Tarlin, like Tarlin is sat quite awkwardly at the table as Emet just, I'm assuming, just stares at him now, like intently. And he's like,
It's a switch between him, intense stare.
Yeah.
Vesh, intense stare. Blue, intense stare.
Yes.
Back to Tarlin, intense stare.
Okay. You're a little full on, aren't you? I've gone Australian. Hang on. But he's like, yeah, you're a little bit full on. Not in a bad way or anything, but you know, it's yeah, you know, it's just weird how you stare.
I was asked to watch you.
Watch me. What? Why? Why? What do you think's going to happen?
Probably to make sure nothing happens.
Okay. Like, it's just sort of fine. I mean, oh, what time is the show on tonight? Because I want to get, you know, I mean, make myself look a bit prettier. She's going to do, like, the show and everything.
If I remember right, there are other performers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Her show will be after theirs, and he'll point to the group that's, I guess, setting up.
Oh, okay. What kind of show do I need to put on something like really smart, or can I just? And he was about to be like, "What are you gonna wear?" But sort of takes it back. Right. Okay.
Who knows nothing about clothing. You look fantastic.
Wow. Oh, wow. Thanks.
I'm wearing this.
That is a fabulous cape, my friend.
It
It's
is,
pretty
isn't it?
fabulous. It is. I mean, and he's sort of he's like pointing to the lightning, like as you sat down again, and it was almost like it hit the thing and it sort of sparked. He's like, that is a very nice cape. I might have to get one for myself. I don't know. I mean, it's a luxury, but I'll see. I'm gonna go get ready, and I'll be back in like 10 minutes or so. All right?
You should stay here.
But I can't like sit like this.
I have to watch you.
Well,
And Vesh and Blue.
you
And
can,
if you leave, I can't watch you and Vesh and Blue.
well, I'll
We
be
can go
like
with you.
10 minutes or so, or you can come with me if you want, or bring him. Like points at Blue. I can take him with me. I don't know. It's up to you.
We will come with you.
I would rather I'll stay. Why don't we all go together? Because
Yeah, can
I
do if
still
you
is
want.
worried about Blue. Let's get a chain of worry going on. So yeah, we could all go together. I'm sure we
Okay.
can get a table. We're with the performer, so we'll be able to get a table when we get back.
Yeah. In fact, no, that's an awesome idea. What? Come on, let's go. Like, and he just sort of jumps up, downs his drink, and disappears out the door.
Vesh chugs his sarsaparilla, and because it's a sarsaparilla now.
Yeah, you do this, and you sort of disappear, and you come out into the street, and it's a bit darker now. It's not dark, but it's definitely coming along to evening. And you walk 3 doors down to this. It's not really a tavern. It's literally like an inn. He's like, I'm just gonna go up to my room. These are my friends. Say hi. Like,
Hi.
Hello.
Cape.
hello. Like, as Blue sort of walks in as well, and the little gnome behind the counter just watches this really weird, like very tall group of people.
Yeah,
trying
a
to get
dwarf
up
and
his
really tall
chest.
group.
Yeah.
He's,
And
he's a dwarf, right? Tarlin's a dwarf.
no, Talon's human.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I was thinking Tarlin was a dwarf.
No,
That
Talon's
was
human.
I.
I don't know where I got that from. Anyway. Oh, the back at the innkeeper at the old
The
place.
other
she
one was a
dwarf.
dwarf. Yeah.
Yeah, Tarlin's a human.
And Talon just sort of comes upstairs. Like, I mean, you can come in if you want.
Yes.
It's not a great room, but you know.
I've stayed in alleys before, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was traveling across country.
Okay. Like, it's just, and you sort of walk into this room, and it's literally a wash basin and a bed. It doesn't look like a comfy bed. It's a simple bed.
Hey, you at least got a bed.
I know, right? I've been sleeping on the deck of my boat for ages.
It's a comfy deck. I fell asleep on it.
Yeah, no, I can. It's quite nice when you get to look up and just see the stars, and it kind of rocks you to sleep anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong, when you hit a rock, it's catastrophic, but most of the time it's all right.
Not sure if it ever's occurred to Vesh that a boat could sink, and so he gets quiet for a while as he starts to contemplate swimming.
Oh,
See,
Emet
he has
has
trouble,
definitely contemplated the idea of swimming.
Yes. Something Vesh and Emmett have in common. I'm assuming Warforged sinks, or do they float because the wood?
I would assume they
But they
sink,
don't have to
but
breathe.
they don't have to breathe, so they
I'd
just
say you
walk across
sink
the
and you
bottom.
walk along the
Yeah,
bottom
you just
to get
walk. You can
out.
just walk across the bottom. Vesh doesn't have that luxury.
As you two are sort of like having this conversation, he's like, I'm gonna get changed. Just
Yeah, we're very into this whole.
yeah, like he's a bit like weirded out by it. But he goes into the bathroom and locks the door, and you can hear him just like moving it, and you hear him sort of crash into something. Is you're pretty sure he falls over, and
Does not even phase Vesh because he falls over all the time.
yeah. But we will jump back over to Tart and Kaya as you sort of enter like this bathroom sort of thing.
Tart will start changing. That's probably what she's doing.
So, I didn't get to thank you properly for the outfit, the clothing. It's all really nice.
You're welcome.
You didn't have to do that. You really didn't.
I know.
And then suddenly, as Kaya opens her mouth, the clothes go to black and midnight blue. But we have business to attend to.
I don't talk with you.
I have an offer. Help me save Kaya from me, and I'll do whatever House Fjarlin wants from now to the day that she and I die. After all, she's a high elf, isn't she? Voila, she fits right in. Now, number 2. Your boyfriend? He's in bigger danger than you know. Now, I don't remember why, but for some reason, the name Rizzo keeps me awake. He mentions his job and bam, here I am. Now, I know you don't like me. In fact, that's more than obvious. And I'd really like to stay on your good side. Because my precious Kaya has to stay alive. That is the one thing I know about myself. So, Tart, Ophelia, my apologies and utmost thanks that you didn't leave poor little lost Kaya on her own. But I need a tiny little favor. You have to help me figure out how to go away. We can save Tarla. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. I promise you that. But we need to work together. I want to stay asleep. I know that much. Kaya wants to be nice and good and bubbly and everything that she is. She wants to be quite like you. She admires you. In fact, I think she looks up to you. I don't know. I'm not here all the time. But what I do know is that we need to act fast. So 1, thank you. 2, do we have a deal? 3, we have to go save your friend.
I'm waiting for Kaya to come back.
Fine. Fine. It takes a second. I don't know. I can't control it. It just sort of happens. And maybe if you hit me in the head, you'll feel better.
I know.
I lean my head forward a little bit. Just move some of the black hair out of the way.
Back off.
I'll have to do it myself then. And he raises his hand, and second that he starts, Kai looks down and sees the color fleeting from her clothes. He was here?
Who?
Thank you again for this. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you, I know.
How'd this turn out? Do I look all right? I don't look silly, do I?
Nope, you look great.
Well, what do you to thank for it? So we might as well go back out there. They're probably waiting, you know. Boys start complaining, oh, why do they take so long? We don't need to perpetuate any stereotypes.
Do you actually have to use the bathroom?
Oh, no, I just want to say thank you for the clothes. It was really sweet, and I didn't want to be, like, awkward in front of everybody.
You're not awkward, Kaya.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Yes, let's go find the others.
Okay, I'm going to pan back to the others. You will hear a yell as Tarlan doesn't say any words, but he yelps, and it's like a hand covers his mouth. And you can hear crashing and banging and the sound of porcelain smashing on the floor. And then a window of glass smashes.
Emet rushes over.
What does Emet do?
The moment he hears the little yelp, he moves. So if he can get there in time, he is going to try and grab whatever body that he can, if it's there.
If you could roll a strength for me, because this door is locked.
Oh, we weren't in the same room?
No, he went in the other room to get changed and locked the door.
Mm.
Bathroom.
Okay.
On a 19, you burst through this door. It's like you almost take it completely off of the hinges as it crashes through. Tarlan is nowhere to be seen, but someone you can see is jumping out of the window.
I go out the window after them.
This is high up, as a heads up. This is like there's a couple of like I forgot what they're called, just like material as it goes down. There's that on the way down. Are you still going to jump out of the window?
Yep.
Okay.
Jump out the window.
You can hear Blue going, Emet, as you literally just sort of jump out. Can you?
Yes, as I jump out, I do want to yell to Blue to stay with Vesh.
Yeah. And Blue's just like, okay, like not phased at all by the fact that you've just dived straight out of this window. And can you roll a dexterity for me? And can you also roll a strength for me? Are you trying to grapple this person on the way down?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, dexterity, you strangely, almost cat-like as you jump down onto these things, and the person jumps from each one with you, but just out of your grasp. As it's like you focus too much on the agility side of it, trying to keep your balance as you go after this person.
Meanwhile, Vesh, seeing them go out the window, but again, Vesh is aware of his circumstance. Probably hears say, "Stay with Blue." Goes down the stairs and goes running out the room to go down, run down the stairs. Run down the stairs.
You run.
Wow.
You are doing well today.
Vesh is having the best day.
But as this happens, you can sprint down the stairs and you will see Emet almost like just throwing himself from this one bit across to another building, and you see a shadow run as you do.
Vesh just tries to get down to the street so we can sort of get an idea, to try to keep an idea of which direction they were heading as he's sort of looking down this window of the staircase, so that by the time I kind of think that, as you do with stairs, the back and forth, to try to keep his, okay, it's to the left, and, then...
You're sort of like, not crashing into things, but like pushing yourself off things as you turn.
Yeah, down the stairwell, definitely. Too fast, even for a good roll.
And even as you land on the ground, you can see this this shadow sprint off into the distance. If you're going to chase them, please could you roll an athletics check for me? You are just that little bit behind them as you see them disappear and zip around a corner. Vesh, whereabouts are you? You've seen Emmett land, effectively.
So yeah, if we've come out on the street as Emmett lands, Emmett takes off. I assume I've got Blue close behind me. Don't know where the
Blue has not left the room.
I thought Blue was watching me.
He was supposed to.
Oh, he didn't leave the room though? Okay. Oh shit. I'm actually going to do a roll. I'm going to do an insight, or I think Vesh would think that Blue is behind him is just slower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to roll it. That's what Vesh would think. Vesh would think that he's a Warforged. He took the order. He's keeping me in sight, or whatever. So I go running after Emmett. What do I need to do?
Well, first of all, we've hit 20 retweets.
Ooh.
So it's the same, perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
I'm going to roll a 1d4 again. All same numbers as last time. If I can type correctly. Number 3.
Is that me?
That is Kaya.
Kaya.
Oh, joy.
Yes.
What's the number again?
Roll. Let me just double check. 5, 4, 6.
All right. 20.
20.
Any other time? I'd love to see that number.
Right?
Yeah. So, Vesh, you see Emmett sprint. Oh god, the Wild Magic Surge is one of mine, I'm sorry. So, Vesh runs sprinting after Emmett. Now, Emmett, you're hot on the tail of this person, but you're always just that little bit out of reach. And what are Kaya and Tart doing at this point when they discover it's gone? And also Kaya, all of a sudden, you immediately become fearful of your own shoes. You think there's something wrong with them. Like maybe there's something in them, or there's something that's just, you don't know what it is, but no, you can't have these on your feet anymore.
Kaya shrieks at the top of her lungs, and in her normal cat-like grace, she just does like a backflip and kicks both of her shoes off up into the rafters.
Okay.
I'll even spend a nat 20 on it if I have to.
Okay, so I broke up a tiny bit, so what are you doing up in the rafters?
No, so she basically jumped and like mid-flip kicked off both of her boots, so they go flying up into the rafters.
Yeah, you can do that just to add to convincing Tart you're not strange at all. Yeah, no, I'd say you can do that. And they literally hook up over one of the big bunting sort of things they're going across.
So, Tart, remember how I said thank you for the outfit? There's something in those shoes.
I didn't get you new shoes. Maybe that's why?
Oh, that's right, you didn't. Okay, never mind. But there is something wrong with my shoes. I don't. And she just sort of stands there, sort of like making like the Jack Sparrow watching the Black Pearl move. Just a.
Mm-hmm. Tart's looking around for their group, who is not here, but just so cool.
Do you? By the way, so no worries. But there really might be something in my shoes. Have you found Todd and the others yet?
No.
Okay. Oh my god, they moved. They moved. Shh. And Kaya reaches over and she puts her finger like right over Tart's lips. Shh, shh, shh. Darling, don't panic. But it's in there. Oh.
As you've been looking up at the shoes, like every now and then a drunk person walks past and is like trying to have a look at what you're looking at and not quite getting it and then leaving again.
I'm just going to back away from the finger and walk backwards toward the bar. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, so good. I'm all dressed up. Did you see where my friends went? They were sitting right there.
Oh, the tall ones, Warforged, and the scruffy looking one.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they were just going down the road. Like, they were going to go and escort this poor guy to get changed or something.
That's so cool. I loved that. Thank you so much. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Okay. I'm going to run out into the street in my outfit.
Could you roll a perception for me, please?
Sure. I'd love to.
So how long am I afraid of these shoes?
Sorry?
How long am I afraid of these shoes for?
Bear with. About 5 minutes, that's about it.
Okay.
But they're now in the rafters, just so you're aware.
Right, yeah. You know what? I'll come back and get them later. They're fine. They're just, don't trust them. Do not. If they ask any questions, do not. I swear to fuck.
Like, the barmaid's just like, okay. I will keep an eye on them.
And Kaya will turn, looking around for Tart.
Tart is gone. Tart is out of the tavern, and Tart on a 25, you see Vesh almost come crashing out of this other tavern through the lower doors as he sprints off.
I follow him.
I run into the street to try to find Tart.
You'll see Tart herring off after what you can assume is one of the party.
All right, lovely. And I go chasing after her as well.
Across like 3 blocks. Of Wroat. Love it.
Yep.
Emet, you are crashing through this place, and you can see Vesh almost catching up with you with his really long legs as he does so.
Are we getting within 15 feet of this person?
You and Emet are, yes. Tart is, I'm assuming, whizzing, like coming up close behind Vesh.
Vesh will reach out his hand, like almost as like he can like grab this person. He's just like, Tarlin, like, you know, reaching out to do it, and a bolt of lightning comes shooting out of his fingers as I use the cantrip Lightning Lure. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pulled 10 feet in a straight line toward me.
What was the saving throw? Sorry.
The save on it is a 14.
He gets a 13.
So yeah,
yeah, no, in fact, you describe how this happens.
Yeah, I mean, Vesh is just trying, you know, kind of like reaching out, like just towards Tarlin, because his friend who has a boat who might get him home is being I guess carried off. Do I see Tarlin?
You don't see Tarlin anyway.
I see this guy, assuming.
You saw Emet throw himself out of a building after this person, and Emet is the only person you saw leaving the building.
Yeah, seeing as there was no Tarlin, I mean, I'm assuming I just reach out. I mean, because I don't necessarily know who it is other than that we're chasing the person. I'm assuming it's either Tarlin or someone who's done something to Tarlin, because we heard the yelp and such. So he just is reaching his hand out, and then suddenly there's just this crackling a bolt of lightning, almost like it's a whip that goes and wraps itself around this figure's waist and just yanks them off their feet back towards us. And if they land within 5 feet of me, I assume since we're running forward, he does. It's a D8. It's a D8. Yeah, it's a D8 lightning damage they take.
This is an 8. You can kill him. It's not. He ragdolls and is launched backwards towards you. It's almost like and Tart, you will see this as this guy comes flying, rocking backwards towards Veshing, almost like hits the ground and like just slides back. And he has been knocked out. He's twitching slightly with like the lightning sort of still sort of ricochet all over his body. He lies limp at Vesh's feet. And he Ema, as you're running, this you feel like a bolt of lightning comes past you, and then the person you're chasing is actually drawn back and thrown backwards.
Vesh skids to a halt. Like, whoa.
That happens. Like before he threw the bolt, like Ema almost just roars as this frustration, this guy's getting away from him. And then all of a sudden the guy's being pulled towards him. And let's see. Emet is going to scoop up the guy as he's coming past him and just slams the body against a wall.
Yeah, awesome. So he ragdolls backwards, and Vesh, you can see this body come flying towards you, all static with energy. And Emet, I see, reach out,
just
catch him, and then just swing him and smash him up against the side of this wall. This guy is knocked out, but you can see him like coughing up a little bit. He's got blood running down the side of his head, and he's just like shaking with the static. He is out.
Before that kind of dawns on Emet, he slams him into the wall.
Hi,
I don't know how she does it from here. It's so distracting.
I could see her. Hi, Jeff.
I know. They say hi. Emet slams him up against the wall and just starts like yelling in his face. Thank you. And then realizes that he's passed. He's not.
Yeah, like this head is lolling as you're literally like shaking him. This guy is out. And Tart, you would have caught up to Vesh at this point, and Kaya will be shortly behind.
I would imagine Kaya could get there before because she can dash twice in a turn.
Oh, okay.
So she'd be able to just, but probably if not keep up with Tart. Yeah.
I'd say probably about the same level because Tart got out of the tavern.
Right.
She saw they were gone and just sprinted out.
Okay.
I think Vesh, seeing this person, having seen someone die recently, he's going to be, no, I didn't mean to hurt you. That I did. And cast Spare the Dying on him just in case.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
And he, like I said, he's out cold, but he's not dead. He is very much alive.
Yeah.
What happened?
Do we see Tarlin anywhere?
Tarlin is gone.
You do hear, as you probably came up, Emet is yelled like, "Where is Tarlin?" into this guy's face before he realized that he was knocked out. And in the frustration of realizing he was knocked out, just kind of like threw him into the ditch.
What happened? And she's staring at Emet.
Emet turns, and their eyes are orange. And it takes a second as they're almost frozen and not moving. And it's a very uncanny stillness. Nothing moves. And then finally, the eyes almost blink and flash and go to blue. And then kind of kicks back up. Tarlin was taken from the window. I assume this man knows where.
Piercing the silence for a second as Kaya's clothes just shift for a single second as Echo lets out a see.
Go fuck yourself.
Who? What? Where?
You. Emet. Would you please carry our new friend?
Yes.
Thank you.
Tart and Kaya, you all notice Blue is not here.
Wait, where's Blue?
Where is Blue? Blue, he was following me. Vesh starts running back because of his premonition or vision.
Are you running straight back up the stairs, up through the door?
Yeah, I assume I have to see just how well or bad it goes. Oh, it's he's a mess. He is really worried. He's like all but crawling. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go up almost on all fours as you stumble.
Pretty much is what it ends up being.
You burst into the room, and Blue isn't in the main room. As you round in, you look to where the bathroom is, and he stood there with his arm pointed out to the wall. It's just behind the door, what he's pointing at. He's pointing across.
Vesh, what is it, Blue? And then I turn and look to see where he's pointing.
Across the wall is a straight line, like a smear of just blood across the wall. There are 2 bones have been drawn onto the wall to make a V shape. And then 3, again drawn, bones that look like they have been sharpened into blades to form this symbol. The others, if you do follow, you will probably catch up around this sort of moment.
Do I recognize it? Does it trigger anything?
History check on whoever wants to see if they know what it is.
Sure thing.
Vesh just thinks it's scary.
Nat 20.
Nice.
So, as the blood drips down the wall, Tart, first of all, you will recognize this. You've been to this city before, you've been to the university areas. And all you know from it is that this belongs to a society, a cult, religion, whatever you call it, called the Dark Six. And Kaya, as you look, you get this feeling you've seen it before. Not like for anything major, but you know that this is the Dark Six as well. And you know from it that the Dark Six embody very dangerous concepts. You know that they're 3 things, like the 3 blades you see in front of you is death, chaos, and change. And that is where we will leave this week's of Ebberon. Is everyone okay?
Yeah, perfectly fine.
Awesome. Right, we will go round, and same as usual, if just say what your favorite bit is and how it went today, and plug yourselves. Where can we find you? What do you do? Just go for it. So first of all, we'll do reverse order. So we're going to go, first of all, Kaya or Derek.
Hi, everybody. I'm Derek, or as you might have seen or will about to see on Twitter, Archmage Derek. Find me on Twitter at Archmage_Derek. And you can also check out the Mage College, themagecollege.wordpress.com. That link will be in chat, where myself, my awesome wife Kana, and our friend Tahina Andale create 5e subclasses, races, spells, and the like, and create awesome, fun D&D articles. Coming up next week for Halloween, we're releasing a special Halloween product on DM Skill for the Dhampir race, or half vampires as they might be known as. So check that out next week. We're really excited to have that coming out. And you can catch me tomorrow night at 6 p.m. EST for the Scattered Ashes campaign, where our very own Scraticus and a bunch of other great people play 7th Sea with me. So, yeah.
Awesome. What was your favorite bit? Sorry, did I completely miss that?
My favorite part was because Lauren/Tart embodied everything I feel about Echo by telling him to fuck off, and I loved that so much. So thank you.
Awesome. Okay, in fact, and saying that, we're going to hop over to Tart, or Lauren, as we know her better.
I liked shopping. It made me happy.
I knew you would.
Yeah, it made me happy. I am Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on the Twitters. What am I doing this week? Friday, Lady Blackbird over on Off the Table. It's our sister show with Scraticus Academy. It's awesome.
It's so good.
We just had a crossover episode. So that's at 8 p.m. Eastern on Off the Table this Friday. Saturday night, I'm over on the Greyhawk channel with a bunch of awesome people. We do an orc campaign, studying Greyhawk, Abdi. And then on Sunday, for real, fucking real this time, is the final season premiere of Project Athena, a Pulp Cthulhu campaign that I will just never ever stop hyping. That will be at 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Scrimjack21502. And it's the best show ever. So
He's
Go
such a
watch
good
it.
DM. He's such a good
Yes.
DM.
It is the best. My favorite character. It's my favorite story. I love it. Come watch it.
Awesome. Thank you. We're going to hop over to Emmet, or Ashley, as we know her.
Oh my gosh. There's so many good scenes in this one. The very beginning, like crossing the sword bridge, and of course, the wild magic sword's shoes, which is a random, hilarious little thing thrown in there, and I loved it. That was a good scene. Actually, this week I will be in another game on the Monty Cook channel. I will be featured in The Notion and an Invisible Sun game. And that's been a ton of fun. So if you're free, you should check it out. And outside of that, this is the only game I'm in, and I am Phoenix of 89 pretty much everywhere. That's where you can find me.
Awesome. And I'm gonna have to try and tune in to both now, like Greg's Call of Cthulhu games. Like, this is the problem. Like, that's been going on for so long that I want to sit down and watch it
Yes.
fully.
I will send you
find-
a thing I made. It's got, you can just catch up this way. I send it to you now.
Awesome, thank you. And also, I'm going to try and tune into that Monty Cook game because that sounds awesome as well. I can't wait. I really can't wait.
So much fun.
I was going to say, it sounds it. But last but not least, Vesh, or Tool School.
Oh, I had a blast. Got to be Sword Bridge, and got to be that I rolled the nat 20 when I needed on poor, my nat 20, that's actually an 18. Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun. I mean, that's the magic of D&D, when the dice actually do what you want them to do. And so that was great. And what a fun way to start off the episode. I'm Tall Squall. You can find me all over the interwebs as Tall Squall. You can find me here on Mondays. Starting in 2 weeks, we'll be back with our Midgard campaign with Dan Dillon as our DM for some Kobold Press adventures in their world over on the Encounter Roleplay channel. And you can find me on my channel on Saturdays at 2 o'clock for The Vice, which is a campaign that I DM for. And other than that, you'll see me lurking around. Watch mine and Bird versus Plane's Twitter for Wait a Second, Dude, which is our weird, bizarre playing through of video games in the most laid-back, casual way. It is the most non-video game playing streams ever, as we stumble and bumble our way through things like Divinity 2, and we did World of Warcraft on this Sunday. So keep an eye out for those. Usually Wednesdays, might not be this week, but definitely probably back next week, as all sorts of fun things are happening this week. So I had a blast, as always. So I turn it back to you, Alice.
Awesome. I'm glad all you guys had fun, because I always have fun with this one. I love it. Right, last few things. First of all, chat and obviously players. What can our war cry be when we raid a channel? But we need to have a think what sort of war cry we could have. What else we're doing?
Sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla. Oh, actually, hashtag Sarsaparilla. Or my bum speaks for itself. Chat, what do we think? Anyway, Discord. I definitely encourage you to go and join our Discord. There's an awesome bunch of people over there. We chat, we talk about D&D, TTRPGs, and just all around. It's a really nice bunch of people, and we're really proud of that community. Twitter. If you want to get in a viewer game, we're already planning like second season. So that also means second season viewer games with and we're now introducing not only D&D, but also the Cypher system is what we are bringing more and more to the channel. So if you want to get in a game like that, please drop Scrat a DM on Twitter, and we'll see if we can get you in a game and pop you in the diary. YouTube, everything is on YouTube. This will be going up either later this evening or early tomorrow, so you can catch up on that if you didn't see all of it. And goals-wise, we love you guys, and we're en route to hopefully doing something very similar to what we did last month. It's so good that we can. It feels so good that we have the support of all you guys that we can do this and bring more and more stories to the channel and everything like that. because that we are obviously full-time, so you can support us other ways by like Patreon, where you get some sneak peeks beforehand, and we've got loads of free articles on there. Even if you can't donate, that's not a problem at all. Merch, we have some awesome t-shirts, jumpers, hoodies. I've been through it before. I'm sorry, I'm seeing a cat dragged out, like, resisting in the background. We also have some awesome sponsors. Tool School is part of it. Bird in the Storm. They do a really awesome module that we ran on 2 academies ago, which was so much fun. And we've got some stuff on
More things planned.
Yeah, we've got stuff planned, and it's exciting stuff, and I can't wait. Maychamp Press is our other one, and we use this awesome dark matter D&D in space sort of stuff they've got for Argo 37, which you can see is our viewer game every single week. It looks like we will be raiding Mini Terrain Domain, which is V. You'll see her on our Argo 37. She's normally Lieutenant Alara. And it looks like my bum speaks for itself is the raid. I feel she'll appreciate that, actually. Like, she'll appreciate that. She's really awesome. So hop in the chat and rate it with the hype, or we'll let her know where you came from. Really nice. I'm already looking forward to next week. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Next Monday even. Bye!